Welcome to Dark Sky. So this is Pickup Series 2.4 entitled Bat Out of Hell. So just a quick couple of adjustments. There was prelude that was kind of mentioned in our Discord to set us up for the episode. I just want to make sure that with present and current emergency kind of situation that happened, alterations are being made and adjustment is happening here. So Corey's character Morgan will not be in the scene even though they are displayed on the screen. Instead, Morgan will be replaced with a member of the Andersons family, specifically the Duke. The Duke is someone that some folks have seen in the past. In character, I don't think anybody here has met the Duke. Duke is an older guy, robot legs, but he still has his pelvis. Super important to him for reasons. And they say he has a lead foot. So he's definitely the right guy for the job. And since I already had Mooney's car already set up, he will be driving Mooney's car. And that would leave Artie. D can either be in the van with the rest of the Hatter crew, or D can be in the car with Duke. Your call. Either way is fine.
I'll protect the Duke.
Okay, cool.
Hell yeah.
So in the lead up, and just gonna rush through this blurb real quick, and then kind of make sure that everybody knows who everybody is in a hastened fashion. Gonzo received a distress call from a convoy, or rather a smuggler's bus that was traveling across the Badlands from the west, across California, and entering into Night City area to have the people who are in the bus unloaded and brought into Night City under the care of the Valentinos to up their numbers, specifically due to the fact that their numbers have been waning slightly due to the conflict that they've been having with 6th Street Gang over Arroyo / Vista del Rey. That canal has become kind of a hotbed for gang war activity. Gonzo tried to reach out to Hungry. Hungry is not available due to his activities in Dustin, which you can watch more of on Sunday. So he tried to reach out to a fixer that was available, and everyone directed him to Hatter. Very quick beat in the early morning. You hand him the cash. He starts making phone calls. Hatter, you have worked with everyone here except for the Duke, obviously the NPC, and D. But the two of you would know each other already, and here's for why. Hatter is a fixer that is in the north side that works along with the Maelstrom gang, and D already knows where this is going because D is a therapist who does extreme behavioral health support for Maelstrom gangers who are cognitively aware that they are going to become cyber psychos. This also means prescriptions for immunoblockers and the like. So she is someone that Hatter would have as a source, mainly due to that prescription slip. And then it would be someone that D is aware of, because if she's ever had anything she's needed in regards to the Maelstrom gang, she typically doesn't ask them, she would ask the fixer. So let's go ahead and discuss the characters real quick. Dan hasn't been with us in Dark Skies pickup series for a while, and Gonzo was very prominently featured back in the short series The Interception. Dan, I'd like you to go ahead and describe Gonzo for us, and I'm going to go ahead and throw your picture up while you do so.
Okay, so Gonzo's kind of a brash ganger. I mean, he's definitely got a lot of history with the Valentinos. There's a lot of reverence and respect that come with him. He has a lot of reverence for his family. If you've ran with him, you would know that he is a crack shot with his pistol. He tends to just pick one target and blow their fucking head off. Gonzo's not afraid to rush in. He's typically tweaking on something. You'll see him, pop bumps. He'll take some pills. He'll hit a couple whips. He fucks with all of it. His gangers they're ride or die. Yeah, he's only lost one ganger in several years, and if you know him, which probably most of you don't, he's not taking that very well. So yeah, that's Gonzo.
So Gonzo's crew, just to go over it really quick, I was going to say Clerigo. So the main gangers that he has, these are his 4 core crew members. And so people watching at home, you're probably reading the screen and saying, Gonzo, his role is street punk. What the fuck does that mean? So it's a homebrewed kind of variation of exec, but instead of being kind of linked to a corporation, they're a gang. And then instead of having team members who are kind of like corporate stooges, they're basically just goons that follow him around. Clerigo is his oldest and kind of his main guy. Pretty much very focused on the religion and very focused on that kind of aspect of the Valentino lifestyle. Then there's Money. Money is obviously very focused on the money part of being a gangbanger, and he's got a really nice gold-plated car. He's definitely the one who shows off with what he's got. Then you've got Menacia. She is a newer member to Gonzo's crew. She's kind of the sultry kind of like scene kid, but she's also like trying to kind of get on the come up when it comes to like loyalty to the gang, so she can get more kind of like benefits for being a member of the Valentinos. And last but not least is Summer, who is featured in the jacket. She was in a relationship with a guy who had David Martinez's jacket. She got a fake version of that, which you can see her wearing. Her boyfriend died in a kind of conflict between the Valentinos and the Silvaqueros, which is a nomad family, or was a nomad family, which is now part of the Faraway clan. Again, more stuff for Sunday. Yeah, she's got a big ass fucking machine gun. That's his crew. Now Dan hasn't seen anybody here, so we'll go ahead and just do everybody like real quick. Go ahead. We'll just go rotation. Chandler, tell us about your character.
Yeah. Playing a fixer named Hatter. Works a lot with the Maelstrom. Kind of dresses up. Likes his suit a lot. Pretty direct to the point guy. Will throw money if need be. Likes to keep his crew as together as possible. Really hard to find good people and good work consistently, so he'll pay extra for it. His mindset's a little different than Gonzo's, in that if you die while working with him, he'll honor you by selling your parts, as he is Maelstrom, and that's kind of their thing. But he doesn't want anyone to die. He doesn't want anyone to have that happen. But no point wasting good chrome.
And focusing on that real quick, the Valentinos are paying you, so they are not working for you. The
Yeah, no,
agreement is,
that's him.
yeah. The agreement would be is if you survive and the Valentinos die, the bodies are not yours.
Oh yeah, that goes back to them. There's
Yeah.
respect there. There's understood.
It goes with the family. That's
For
Yeah.
understood.
I know.
I'm not trying to start a huge turf war.
No.
Over a
Valentinos
couple
already have,
bodies.
Valentinos already have their problems, and Maelstrom got.
We don't
fucking-
have much chrome anyway. We don't.
No, that's
Yeah.
it. That is not true. Valentinos love their chrome. They just gold plate that shit. Okay. Then on to the psychiatrist of the Maelstrom. Artie, go ahead and tell us about D.
Hi, so Dee is a very serious and direct, somewhat distant kind of person. She's decently built. You can tell that she can handle herself in a fight, but prefers to remain as distanced as she can be from everything that's going on because she still works a day job. But she will do whatever's necessary as part of the team.
And I think the joke that has been maintained, it kind of is part and partial to Dee's martial arts style. It very much looks like Dee has never skipped leg day. The martial art karate kicks, or sorry, not karate, it's different martial art, but the kicks are strong in this one. Okay, Jonah, tell us about Crown, and Crown's been around for a while as well. I think Gonzo and Crown came about at the same time. There were two different side series that were happening simultaneously when Crown was built. But yeah, Jonah.
Yeah. Crown is just, he kind of looks like a normal kind of mercenary type. He kind of keeps his gear low maintenance. Not very fancy stuff, but they're clean and reliable. Also, like, if you ever get the chance to see him sort of without his mask, he has a bunch of tattoos like across his face, very Maori-esque. And then he's also spotting like little to no chrome.
Okay. And
What's
since
his mask look like? He's wearing a mask.
helmet usually.
Yeah, helmet. Sorry, my bad.
Helmet. Okay.
And real quick, I want to get this out of the way before we get into it because it's going to be pretty action packed, and like I kind of want to maintain a level of seriousness and focus once we get into the gig. Can you just go ahead and do a little bit of talking as the character so nobody's caught off guard like Chandler was with his first bit, so everybody understands what they're expecting in the voice acting department?
Okay, put me on the spot.
I know.
You can do it, Jonah.
Good day, Kai Crown here. Here for the Eddies and killing baddies.
And that's what he
love it,
sounds
dude.
like.
I still love it.
I love it, John.
He is a, very much a New Zealander, or Kiwi, I believe. It's the terminology. Maori, right. Rem is up next. Go ahead, Elizabeth, tell us about Rem.
So, Rem is a kind of adrenaline junkie. She's a media and mostly focuses on recording brain dances. She is very physically fit. She does a lot of cardio and also martial arts. She doesn't really use ranged weapons. She mostly likes to rip and tear with her rippers. So she got the claws. Um, and she's very well put together despite like basically being homeless.
Quick note: since Gonzo is a bit of a thrill seeker, Hungry's crew a week or so ago put out a BD called Legless. If Gonzo is the type to kind of seek thrills that are kind of XBD related, you would know Rem's work. She recorded herself getting her leg cut clean off by a cyber psycho.
Nice.
So yeah, exciting. Definitely an interesting
You ever
BD.
want to know what it feels like to get your leg ripped off?
Yeah, honestly, for me, BDs are one of the most exciting frontiers. It's like all of the sensation and none of the pain like that happens
Yeah.
afterwards.
Well, I've had her as a concept like since you almost blew Letty up like ages ago.
Well, that did happen eventually. Sort
Yeah.
of, kind of. Okay, so
His
focusing in on the map, on the far side of the map, the right side, you should see like a big, goofily drawn yellow line. The crew gets together and starts moving out. There are going to be a total of 4 vehicles. 2 vehicles being driven by the Valentinos, a gold-plated kind of luxury sedan with 4 seats, bright red leather interior, just immaculate. Money's car. A slightly faster sedan, looks like it's got kind of like, the kind of paint on it, but it's very much kind of like one single color, very stylish looking. That's Clerigo's car. Then you have the van, which is the van that was left for Hatter by Cryptid when Cryptid was taken by Arasaka, and so far as yet in narrative has just been disappeared by a mega corporation.
Came in with like just a bucket of machine guns, so I just assume she's dead, and that van was on my property basically. So
there is no reason that you should not believe that. Like that is exactly what it looked like happened. She basically got black bagged and taken by Arasaka, ninjas. That's between her and God. She's gone for all we care. And then Duke is driving a car that is familiar to nobody here except for Crown. Crown, you would recognize it as Mooney Sedan, which, again, he is a member of the Andersons, and he's basically just pulled it out of motor pool and is utilizing it. When you get out, about an hour out from where you're going, Gonzo, you receive a phone call from your contact that says they've been put to ground, they've been hit by rocket fire, they're going to hold where they are as long as they can. You drive faster. When you get to a point where you're on the I-9 and you're starting to move into more of an off-road driving situation, Duke will put over the holo, "Hey guys, listen, they got mines out here on the ground. You got to follow me precisely, or you're going to end up blowing yourself up. Okay?"
Shit.
And if anybody questions him, he says, "How the fuck do you think I lost my legs?"
Oh, he's got a good track record.
Right.
Only happened once. He didn't say replacements.
If you follow him out, it is a long drive. Go ahead. Sorry, Jonah, you were going to say something?
I have threat detection up. Would that help in this
It can if you get lost out from him or you kind of maneuver out, but if you're just following him on the way out, no problems.
Okay.
You would very much see the sign right off the side of the road that says "Caution, Mines." Yeah, it's very much a situation where they're trying to deter people from not driving on the main road. But
Gotcha.
nomads have their ways. You manage to get over a very large hill and then descend onto the opposite side into more kind of just simple sands, and less kind of vegetated sands. The sands where the mines are located, there are a lot of cacti that are kind of present, and other kind of vegetation, like harsh vegetation. But on the opposite side of the hill, on the southern side of the hill, barren, completely, absolutely dead. And eventually you would come to a point where you would be kind of high up on a hill, and right over the ridge, you can hear gunfire. This is what you're looking at when you kind of get to that position. The ridge being kind of directly in front of you, and the gunfire is coming from over on the other side. You think that you can kind of drive up a little bit, but once you get to that rocky area, if you're wanting to kind of get over that ridge, it's going to be on foot. And Duke will note that like there's no way you're getting a car to where they're at.
Okay, I'm double timing it.
Okay. Do you
That's-
want the
Hit the
team-
fucking gas, money.
Okay. When you get to the point where there's like a point of no return car-wise, do you want the crew to stay with? Do you want your team to stay with your car, or do you want to kind of move up stealthily, or do you want to have just like the whole crew? Fuck it, we're walking up like we own the place.
No. Two drivers are gonna stay in the car. Everyone else on me.
Okay. So the
We're
ladies,
still gonna move as a unit.
yeah, the ladies will pop out and follow you, while Money and Clario will stay in the cars. Hatter, you pull the van up. It looks like the Valentinos are kind of like taking the lead on this. You know what your crew was, brought out here for. Are you staying in the van and sending your crew up?
No, I go with.
Okay, so you all pop out.
Also, I would Hulk hand crown one of the rocket launchers. I would be like, "This is yours to hold on to."
Okay.
So you pop out and kind of head over that way. And as you come up over the ridge, I'm going to pull you onto a map, and I'll explain what you're seeing as you kind of see it.
John, can you add rocket launcher?
Yeah, one second.
Yeah, you get 2 in total. Don't mess it up.
Got you.
So, Gonzo, what you would see, and again, the order is a bit off because you said you were moving first. Gonzo, what you would see is you'd see the bus that you are coming here to find. You would see gunfires kind of die down, but there's an occasional tat, tat, tat. And it looks as though you can see that there's a guy who's kind of, he's got the car door open, and he looks like someone that would be kind of hired by your crew. Again, you're not sure. He doesn't look like a wraith is the main thing. He doesn't look like some kind of nomad or something crazy. And he's basically like, it looks like he's trying to do something with the vehicle, like and he's also like halfway out of the truck, and occasionally kind of looks over at this person who's on the wrong
How's
side.
Nando looking?
Yeah, that's Nando there. So you can see he's kind of pressed up against the rock. It looks like his leg has been shot, and there's quite a bit of blood near him, but he has an assault rifle, and just as you're coming up over the ridge, you can see him like dump the clip and like reload the weapon. There are 2 other individuals who appear to be kind of taking the fight to the Rap and Shiv, and it looks like there's a group of at least 3, possibly more, on the other side of this rock, and most of the fire is coming out from there. And just as you kind of take a position up there, you would see that as you see it. The rest of the group is coming up behind you. Your 2 sidekicks are present, but they're going to kind of hold back and yield. The descent down from where you're at is about a 40-foot drop. Okay?
How steep is the incline? What if I slide?
Oh
down?
yeah, it'll be a slide. You'll have to make a check. If you fail the check, you'll kind of take.
Oh, I'll be great. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Fuck 'em. I'm gonna power slide down this bitch.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and move into initiative because we are in a firefight from the onset. So go ahead and select your token and then roll initiative.
I'm gonna change out my skill points real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and switch up to combat awareness.
Oh, God, 19.
D outside of the city. Fuck it. What is even happening? Okay. Okay. Everybody's on the docket, right? Looks like it.
Yeah.
And then allies.
Dang, 3 of us rolled 12s.
Valentino's, Summer.
It's not great. Not great.
Madison.
Can't relate.
Okay, Crown, you are up first. Situation as I explained it. 1 square of your movement will be getting up to the position you're in, since Gonzo kind of rushed ahead with his gangers.
Okay. This side, does it look
It's still a descent.
better?
Yeah, it's still going to be the same. The check is the same regardless.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I will dash then.
Athletics.
Reroll that. Athletics, body.
Okay.
Oof.
You do not have a rocker, so no luck is available for you at this point. Roll me an endurance roll.
Endurance.
It's on your body.
Body, yada, yada. Oh, that's better. Okay.
So you managed to stave off like worse injury, but that first portion of it, you fall and you kind of hit like thud. There's like a very meaty armor-filled thud, and like the dust that you kind of hit just kind of makes a plume where you kind of slap there. You are prone and in that position, and that is your turn.
Basically, what you hear is like, sheet, fuck! And
then
he's just...
oh! Crown done, Gonzo up. Your team, as it was the case with the heist, will initiative immediately after you.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna run, and I'm just gonna power slide down this ledge. Give you my athletics. How do I? Okay, cool. I'm gonna luck that,
You can't.
or rather, not luck.
You can't.
What's it called? No. I got. I'm not played in a while.
Is his
part of the
rolls
cards.
like secret?
It does appear that for some reason he is rolling and GM was.
How do I fix that?
I got you.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
I'm gonna use Heart of the Cards to re-roll it.
Go ahead and click Heart of the Cards. I think you can play it like you can show it, so folks know what
Okay.
you're talking about. Gambling, folks. The perks for gambling.
Oh.
So you
Love
spend 2
that.
luck points to re-roll a skill check after it is made.
Let's hope I don't fucking.
That would be
There
funny,
you go.
but it's not. So go ahead and move your. You said you're running.
I'm running, so double my move.
Yep. And then don't gauge distance down because you're basically going to be kind of dropping. So that's totally fair with that athletic roll.
Just getting after it.
When you kind of
So
move
after-
up to Nando, you see him and he goes, "Oh shit, Gonzo, fuck! These fucking Raph and Shiv, man!" And then you kind of move around to the other side, and he can't really talk to you as you kind of move into position, and you're kind of looking like across the field at them, and you can see.
Yeah.
And as you kind of like hit that position kind of hard with the run, your arms kind of lock onto the rock, and you've got the weapon, pull the trigger. Go ahead and take the shot.
Okay.
22 meters out, you needed a 20, and you nailed it. That'll hit the chest. You see it hit his armor, and it looks like he's just wearing Kevlar, so it kind of pierces through a little bit, but not a shit ton. But it definitely gets his attention.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And
And
then
you
we also have
kind of-
Maniac active.
Yeah, and you kind of stay low in cover, of course, right?
Yep,
Got it.
that's it.
Okay. So, seeing that situation, you would see Summer kind of rush to the edge of the cliff, just like placing both of her feet like in kind of like a wide stance. She drops the Mark IV HMG and kind of looks at the rock and just shooting straight down at the rock. She's suppressing. Excuse me. That was a lot of Buddha after the throat, a little too rough. Slamming bullets onto the rocks. So the suppressing fire means that during their turn, their move action can only be going for cover, which means they cannot advance. She's going to drop down to here and kind of like get to Crown and just kind of stay with him position-wise. At first, Crown, you're kind of like, "Aw, she's really cares," but then you're realizing that she's planning to use you as kind of mobile cover as you two move forward. And you're kind of a little more sad. Hatter, you are up.
Is there any way with my cyber legs I can just drop down the cliff?
Yeah. Again, you have jump boosters, so you don't care about falls.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm just also going to take the run action.
Okay.
This guy next to the front door is friendly, right?
He does appear to be, yeah.
4, 5, 6. I'd pop right here and ask, how we doing?
Ah, fuck. Yeah, the rocket took out the engine and several of the tires. And a couple people in the back are dead. I can't get the back door open, he says, looking at you.
Is he hurt at all?
It definitely looks like he's got, like, blood on his brow. It looks like he kind of, like, when they stopped, it was kind of like more of a slam his face into the steering wheel situation than anything else.
So he's fine.
And it definitely looks like a lot of sweat has kind of, like, glazed over it, so it's kind of, like, stuck and sticky and kind of, like, you know, dry, but then there's just, like, a shit ton of sweat running down his face as well.
Okay. Yeah, I would pass on that one then.
Okay.
I won't really.
Rem, you're up.
All right. I will also take the. Wait, you get disadvantage, or the DV's higher if I run down the.
No.
thing.
The DV is the same. If you want to take it slow, I mean, you can. But yeah, again, it's just depending on where you're moving and where you end up moving. It's not so much how fast you're moving.
Okay, because I'm wanting to go down this way.
Okay. Yeah, if you're just going with, run, then go ahead and hit me an athletics check.
Okay.
DV is 13, just so it's transparent and nobody's confused.
Body.
Okay.
19.
And then since you moved 9 squares there, it looked like,
Yes.
you can continue moving because you ran, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Unless you want to stay in cover behind that car.
Yeah. Ducking behind the car.
Okay. So you are
That
on
was the
ground
plan.
level.
Or should I move there, or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, closer to it means, less angling. Okay.
Yeah.
So on your initiative, Hatter, he kind of opens up the door so that you're kind of like in between or behind the door a bit. He's kind of giving you a bit of cover, and then he kind of gets into the car and kind of starts like trying to. It looks like he's fucking with some sort of lever or like a release, and he's having a hard time doing it. He fails his check to try and pull the release. You feel like you might be able to, since you're a little bit stronger than he is, perhaps maybe get that over him. He's pretty buff, but it looks like there's no chrome there. It looks like it's mostly flesh.
Sad.
Yeah, well, he lives his life. Nando will kind of get into a bit more harsh cover and kind of just take a second to kind of catch a breather. As I said, he was throwing his clip last time. This turn, he's using his action to reload his rifle. As you're kind of in position, Gonzo, and kind of watching, you see this beautiful fucking solo of a woman fighting on your team, apparently. Absolutely.
She's a Tina.
You don't know for sure that. She doesn't have any tats or anything. She just, she definitely has kind of like a Hispanic kind of look to her. She definitely looks like she is, she's also really hot. Hold on, let me show focusing up. The name is not known to you yet, but that is what she looks like.
Okay. She's wearing Militech.
Yeah, you see her pull out, a pistol and start kind of like dry firing it over. And when she does so, the guy you kind of hit, who kind of popped up to look at you, you see his head kind of, and just he falls to the ground dead. She scoops his head clean out.
Nice.
Gorgeous. Hot.
Then she very daringly just kind of flies forward and kind of hits against the rock that they're using as cover. This guy over here is going to see the situation and kind of roll around the rock and kind of drop down. D, you're up.
Great. Gonna very carefully get down.
Okay.
As
Go
much
ahead
as
and make an
possible.
athletics roll. You can go as quick as you like. If you want to use your action to take the run action.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah, just move twice. A number of squares equal to twice your speed and get to wherever you want. But yeah, you're basically like drop down, kind of land, like you're again the the legs are very capable for the drop down kind of movements.
Gotcha.
Superhero landings all the way.
Okay, I'm going to. I can click. Things are happening. There we go.
Okay.
So that's 8. How far can I get? I'll start making my way over there.
Okay. And staying kind of low as you approach the rock so that, like, you're not terribly out of cover. That works.
100%.
All right. Quick shift as we move into the next round. Crown, you're up. Psych, you're prone. So standing up from prone in game is actually a move action. So that means it would take your entire movement to get up.
Can I run still or no?
You can, but what I will say to you is as you kind of stand up, I'm going to give you a free perception roll.
Cool. Okay. 11.
Sufficient. You are able to see them outside of their cover from this higher position, and they are being suppressed by the HMG fire. You feel like if you have a longer range weapon like an assault rifle, you would be able to kind of focus in on them a bit more here.
I do have one of those. Okay.
Get to work.
I will pull out the Masamune and I will attempt to shoot this one.
Okay, we're at 46 meters distance. Go ahead and take the shot.
I don't know if I'm going to hit that, but I'm going to try.
46 meters needs a 13. That will hit.
Oh!
Oh, wow.
Me!
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and the damage is 19. Their
Hey.
armor is 7, so it looks like you do a pretty solid hit. You clip them in like the shoulder, and you see him kind of and kind of drop back underneath the cover, and you can see the massive rounds of the HMG kind of slamming into the rock. The other guy's kind of like hands on his head, kind of down. Solid shot. Gonzo, you're up next.
Alright, so Gonzo once again goes at a fucking running pace. Runs across the field, ducking like serpentine between the shots of the HMG.
Mm-hmm.
Basically slides, kicks up dirt, flips his pistol, aims shot to the dude in the back
Okay.
at his head.
So the guy who just got hit was readying an action.
No, the one behind him. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to fire at you. Maniac will give you a bonus to your evasion roll. Go ahead and throw evasion.
Okay. And he also has a -2 to hit me.
Yep, I got a 23 with a -2.
Let me see. Where? It's under body? Or is it under fighting?
Evasion's under fighting. So 21, and then you're adding your movement.
8.
So 29 total.
Yes.
So as you're kind of rushing forward, you see him kind of lift up his assault rifle, and you kind of just do like a forward roll. The bullets kind of fly over top of you as you're just kind of like, you feel your tank top get like heavy with sand, and you gotta flip up. All the dust kind of flies over top of you. Pistol out, take the shot.
It's an aim shot.
And you're shooting the guy in the back. Okay.
Yep.
21
So
minus
plus-
8 is 13. And you have a bonus for Rio Bravo, right?
And the targeting scope and the soft sys. So
Yeah,
plus
solid.
5.
That'll hit the head. As you kind of make that position, pull up the gun and pull the trigger, like the targeting in your eye kind of snaps, locks onto his head like that style. And as the bullet like hits him clean in the face, you just watch as like his head evaporates and just bursts everywhere. He had no gear on his head.
Okay,
Nice.
cool.
It's like at that moment too that the guy was shooting you, like he kind of like, you know, pulls his gun and is trying to like recalculate on you, and he kind of looks over his shoulder and sees his head's friend just kind of explode. Okay, Gonzo done. It'll go to her. She, taking the situation, flips over the ledge and kind of like lands on the opposite side. You hear a double tap in mid like flip. And you see 2 bullets slam into the top of this guy's head, and he just falls to the ground crumpled. And then she looks at you, and there's kind of like a exchange of like professionalism as she kind of does that. Meanwhile, Hatter, we're out of initiative.
Spray paint.
The guy says, like, as he's kind of like looking at you, "We don't have fucking time for this. We need to get them out. You got cars on the ridge?"
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
And go ahead and make an athletics check, Hatter, as you try to pull the lever to open up the back.
You called him strong earlier, and that's very funny with his score.
Compared to him, you're doing great. You kind of reach in and kind of look at him, grab a hold of the bar. He kind of grabs a hold of the bar as well, and you two look at each other and pull. And there's this very loud "tung," and as it kind of drops, the back of the bus will drop out, and a bit of smoke will come out, and 8 individuals will kind of storming out, kind of coughing very loudly. You would see that one of them coming out is a woman who seems to be carrying another person, adult-sized person, just in case anybody's going to get like too terribly affected. But the person that she's carrying does look like they are limp, as they might be deceased. That said, we're in narrative beats, but Crown, you stayed up on the high ridge.
Yeah, threat detection on, just in case.
Go ahead and make a perception roll with that.
Okay. Oof!
Man,
10.
Jonah, I need you to roll good tonight, okay, buddy? Can you just roll? Can you stop rolling ones, my guy? Can you stop rolling ones, my guy?
I can try. I
Okay.
can try.
We believe in you. Or I believe in you.
But I feel like even with a 1, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, fair enough, but it's not good enough. You see dust off in the distance to the east, and then on the hollow, Summer would say, shit, boss, holy shit. And then she'd kind of like switch her view for Gonzo and Gonzo alone, and you would see that she's looking out on the kind of far side of the ridge where that descent was, and this is a good distance away, so you have like maybe 10, 15 minutes or so, if that, where there are dozens of cars and motorcycles just trekking across the dust. And the best way to kind of give you a visual of what you're looking at in this second is, have you seen the movie Fury Road?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's actually what I was kind of.
You're
actually,
very
yeah.
much locking in on a
All right.
situation where this, if it is allowed to get to you, is
Gonzo drops the spray can. Fair enough.
Oh man!
And he takes out some synth coke.
Okay, take a bump. +1 to your reflex for the next hour.
4 hours, sir.
Sorry, 4 hours. But real quick, D and Hatter, you two are the closest to the people who are kind of coming out. How would you like to engage with them?
Very bluntly, I don't. I don't see a need to. That's not really my group to deal with.
Okay. D.
I'd yell for them to come back this way.
Okay. They start moving, and you would notice that as they kind of start heading that way, it looks like most of the people are kind of moving with a little bit of like, wariness at first, but then kind of pick up speed like normal people. The only person who is not moving as fast is the woman I mentioned, who does appear to be carrying a dead person. And she looks like she's very kind of like absolutely traumatized. But everybody else is kind of like, holy shit.
Does it look like a muscle in both? Like I can hold them both?
So your body is, what?
Body of 8.
Okay. You could probably pick up the body, but not her at the same time. You could do one.
I'll pick up the body and grab her by the hand.
Okay.
Pistol is on my hip.
The guy you are carrying.
Actually, it's yeah.
The guy you're carrying is
it's
dead.
in my pants, like in the back. Yeah, of course he's dead.
Yeah. And she's kind of like following after you, and you can see that she's like starting to kind of cry, like as you take the body, and she kind of gets a look at it. And she looks like she's very traumatized by the whole situation. Also, since you kind of moved to that position and are kind of looking down the barrel of the back of the truck, you can see that there are 3 other people in the back of the truck. Because remember, there were 12 that were being transported. There are 3 more in the back of the truck that look like they are dead. There's one that looks like they kind of splattered all over the wall. There's another one that looks like they kind of took a piece of large piece of metal and are kind of pinned to a portion of the wall. It doesn't look like there was a breach inside of the vehicle. There's no daylight coming through, I mean to say. It looks like whoever shot the rocket hit underneath the vehicle and it blew up outwards and in.
Okay.
So you're kind of like, okay, keep that in mind. Don't let people shoot shit underneath our cars. Okay, but you grab the body. D, give me a persuasion roll. Okay. So you kind of talk them into kind of moving. Is there any kind of inflection that you're trying to kind of rise here, like urgency or anything to that effect?
Absolute urgency.
Okay.
These people are traumatized. They just need direction.
So with your persuasion roll, what that means is they start moving fast and they're kind of hustling, but as a kind of person who understands behavioral changes, you would notice that they do appear a bit more panicked by your rush. And again, situation is the situation. It is what it is. You start moving up the ridge. Rem, you kind of see the people coming along. And Crown, you're kind of up at the top, kind of getting a bearing on the situation. Do you two want to do anything in the kind of lead up to them coming up to the ridge, getting ready to climb it, or anything at all?
Rem will move up a little bit on the ridge and kind of be ready to help anyone up that needs it.
Make an athletics roll for me for the process, and then while she's doing that, Crown, what are you doing?
I just want to see if I see like anything coming up like sooner.
No, it
Like, if
looks like
anything's up.
it does look like there are some bikes that are at the vanguard, but they're not so far ahead of the pack that they're like getting close. Rep, you're able to kind of like with that kind of able to get, and also with the Valentino gangers' help, you're able to kind of get them moving up very quickly. Once they get up there, I'm going to move us to another map. And I just want to make sure that we understand we are currently looking at the left side of the map. Now, Corey's token from Oregon is still on the map. We're just going to use that as a placeholder for Duke. Simple as. And the motorcycle that they're currently showing as having there, that's not what they're driving. That is not the case. So I'll remove that here in just a second. The main point is that each of these yellow boxes are indicative of how many spaces are available in each of these vehicles. So what I need to know, and again, you can play musical chairs who is in what, as far as your crew. Totally fine. You do not need to all be in the same vehicle or be split. It's your call how you want to do it. The way it was before, based on kind of discussion, was like this. So
I would like to be passenger princess in the van.
You are passenger princess in the van. Yeah, so driver seat is the first seat, and then passenger princess is the second seat. Everything else would be kind of back seats. So
Right.
Is this good for everybody who's crew side? Okay. Now
Yeah.
you have 4 gunners for their team, and then you have 8 non-combatants, basically the people who came along for the ride. So very just as ordered as you'd like. I need to know who's going in what.
How much horsepower is in that van?
Not much.
It's not going to do terribly great out here in the sands, but it is going to, it's going to road car.
Okay. I'd prefer none of our people that we're rescuing to be in Money's car just because it's an open top.
Yep.
Mm.
So
We could drop
van.
them all in the van. Well, not all of them, but
You could stuff them all in the van, but that would limit your options for the van.
It would make the van a lot slower.
Well, no, it would still be going at the
is.
same pace. It's just that you wouldn't be able to like pop out the back or use the back for fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That should be
Yeah,
fine.
it would just be a transporter at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, but we as the passenger princess, I could
You can side gun.
Pop
You can
out
shoot
the
out the
side,
window
right?
for sure, but you can't like shoot out the back of the van.
I mean, we can fill the 2 sedans and then the van.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I would look over and immediately offer as many as you need to put in there. Let's stuff them in there so we can get going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the driver for the bus is going to get in the van, and then
I feel like Rem is the only one who shouldn't be in the van still.
Really?
If-
I wanted
if-
to like jump out.
Well, that's what he's saying. If we stuff all these people, you can't really.
If you full load
That's
it,
true.
that's one person plus all of the sidekicks. Now, Rem,
Mm.
if you want to stay in the van, you're basically just going to be wedged in the back with a bunch of people,
I don't like that.
Yeah.
and not really
That's
help.
why
want
I was
Nando.
like, I don't think you want to be in the van.
It's a situation if that back door opens, you're going to be able to get out, but a lot of people are going to be
Also
forced
get
to
out.
as well.
Die in the process.
We
I
didn't say
guess
anything
I
about
could
dying. Just falling out of the back of a
over
van.
here with D and Duke.
Okay. And then that means we can put one more person from them into that if that is desired.
Yeah.
Sardine
And then
can.
we don't want any in the open topper.
And you are wanting.
I'll take combatants
Okay.
Yeah.
like Nando.
Nando's
in the
kind of
open
wounded. Do you want Nando in your car or do you want Nando in Clerigo's car?
Actually, I know that D is somewhat of a medic, right?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if maybe D will
You want
patch him
Nando
up
to
a
go
little
with
bit.
Clerigo, or sorry, go with
Yeah.
Duke? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then the other people will be introduced to you pretty quickly. So the Nando is obviously the kind of like leader guy, right? The girl who apparently is a badass is named Sophia. And then the other two guys are Block and Tackle, Jorge Hernandez and Michael Aguado, but Block and Tackle are their handles.
Okay.
Block is the driver, and he's the one that's in the van with everybody else. He's kind of still doing the job. Tackle will go in either the Clerigo's car or Money's car, and the same is true for Sophia.
Looks good to me.
Okay, we'll go with that then. Anybody have any reservations or changes? Okay.
Mm-mm.
As you get into the cars and the cars start, basically Gonzo says, "You got a doctor bag? Can you fix them up?" And Nando kind of looks at you like desperately. He currently has the. Hold on a second. Broken leg. Wrong book. Wrong book. Part 2. Electric Boogaloo. Broken.
While we're driving, can I sort of make the seatbelt on the passenger side like an anchor? So I could like swivvy out of the window and back into the seat whenever I want?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
With a seatbelt, that's not terribly hard to do.
Nice.
Artie, if you're wanting to help him, you have a med bag, so that'll add +2 to your roll, I believe. He has a broken leg, and so what you need to do is you need to make a paramedic roll, DV13. You are not treating him, you are quick fixing him. So the difference between a quick fix and treatment is treatment requires like a clinic or a hospital to actually do.
Paramedic is under technique.
Yep. All right. This is gonna hurt.
No, it's not. You're really good at it. You pop the bag. You kind of look at a situation. It's not hurting you. Yeah, you're right. It's going to hurt him. You basically force like a quick stint, and he kind of like looks at you, and he's kind of like biting his teeth, and he kind of like nods his head as he kind of like finishes. You kind of put some local anesthetic around the area, and he kind of like looks at you. Basically, what you realize is the bullet shot in, hit the bone, and shattered it, and then made its way through. So yeah, it is definitely a bad wound, but it's one that you're pretty sure once you get him to a clinic, you'd be able to fix. Okay. Anybody else have anything else they want to do before we get into the fun part?
Coke on the dash.
You already did your Coke. Are you?
I'm talking about for money, for summer, for my crew.
Money kind of just leans over and just like drags his face across the dash and kind of looks at you and says, "Okay, boss, let's fucking do it." And then Summer is kind of like locked in, and she kind of shakes her head. She shakes her head, and she's like, "I'm already lacing up. Fuck it." And then you see her, Sophia kind of look at all you and go, and like she just generally looks disgusted.
That's fine.
She is judging all of you.
Whatever.
Hilarious.
The cars start and get to moving. I'm going to show you the big map again, just so you understand the leg of the journey and the
Big map.
next kind of movement. This position from where we started, that is where you're trying to get to in this first segment, okay? And music, of course.
We're going southbound.
North. Oh, that's a loudy. That's
Oh, that's a big distance.
better. Again, yeah, this is a multi-part journey, a very interesting one to be sure. Now, the cars are kind of shown to be kind of positioned as they are. I'm going to give control of the vehicles to the people who are driving them. Controlled by Chandler.
I'm not a great driver.
You are a better driver than everyone else in that van except for the guy who was driving the bus.
Great.
Mooney's car is Mooney's car. Clarigo's. I'm going to go ahead and give you control of Money's car, Dan, since you can kind of bark orders at him to do what you want him to do in pretty quick succession. Whatever you choose to do, though, Clarigo is going to maintain a right side wingman position. And then Chandler, whatever you're doing, Duke is going to maintain a left kind of wingman position. And he says to you, once we get to Vasquez Pass, I'm going to push ahead of you, and I'm going to take the lead so we can get through the minefield nice and clean.
Yeah, stagger formation, keep me in the middle because best prime target, hard to hit in the middle. People 100%. Get blown up in front of me or behind me.
100%. Okay. And again, position-wise, are you okay with where you're at, or do you want to be further up, Dan, or do you want to be kind of closer to the back? What do you want?
I mean, the big thing is the Raffen. They're going to be coming from behind us, correct?
They're going to be coming like alongside, and then we'll kind of start to tail. Yeah.
Okay. Because I want Summer in the back with her HMG, right? I want to keep her arc. Kind of
open
in there. Yeah, correct. So that's the idea.
So
maybe we'll be trailing. Yeah.
Okay. So the next part of the leg of the journey, as I mentioned, is kind of like a straight shot up and then over the hill. This is what we call back towards Interstate 9. And basically, this is a pretty clear vision of what you'll be seeing as we kind of get into this next piece. From the right side, the wave of just moving sand and cars therein is very visible. And 3 motorcycles with kind of spikes and barbs on them kind of rush out toward the front and are the ones that will kind of gain on you first. With that being said, we can go ahead and roll brand new initiatives. Select your tokens in the yellow section side. But obviously we're paying attention to the cars and the cars alone. Distancing on this, if you're measuring distances, it's complicated. So just ask me, because we are on a different kind of metric when it comes to measurements for this fight and this fight alone. If anybody took the time to read the chase block, it's a bit different than just regular shit.
Car chases are fun, is what I've learned.
Yes, they are kind of awesome.
Are you telling me to read?
I'm not telling you to do anything you don't want to do, my guy. So
Elizabeth there. Oh my god. Oh, I thought 2 people rolled zeros. I was like, oh my god.
No, it's just me.
Okay. So
Best for last.
As we get moving, let me explain the scene one more time. Sand, craziness, out from the front of the pack you see 3 motorcycles, sick ass, dirt road bikes, kind of upbuilt, kind of like a mix between a dirt bike and a Harley Davidson. They all have sidecars. The one in the lead, it appears that it has some sort of Gatling gun in its sidecar, and then the other 2 sidecars just have guys with machine guns. The situation is that they are advancing, and it very much looks like from everyone who's looking back that way's kind of perspective that their goal is to try and get into the middle and get to the van, almost as if they know what they want. The weakest of the targets.
They have quick hacks.
Yes, the Rapid Shiver are notorious net runners, for sure. So, Crown, you are in the vehicle, and you are in the passenger side. So when you're drawing lines of fire, we need to take that into account, okay? And so what that means is you're here on the right side of the van, okay?
Yes.
If they kind of move towards your left side, they're basically going to be invisible to you. For the time being, you have a pretty decent line on the larger of the road bikes, and you'd have to shoot through the Valentinos to get the one on the north side of the road bikes.
Gotcha.
With that said, you've got the start of it. How would you like to engage?
I'm gonna pop open the door, hang out the side, relying on my swivel seatbelt, and I'm going to load up the rocket launcher and shoot that guy in the middle.
Okay, so just as you're about to pop out, you pull the law out and kind of extend it, flip up the sight, charging it and priming it for ready, pop out the side, rocket launcher out, and you said you're shooting the guy in the middle, right?
Yes.
Okay, make a heavy weapons roll.
Heavy weapon.
Or I didn't pull the rocket launcher into your sheet. Hold on. Don't. We're ignoring that. We're ignoring that because I failed you as a friend.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I will not let
you wrong
make a wrong.
You're gonna blow up Money's car.
You have no idea how much.
But don't even mention it. Okay, so you now have the rocket launcher as an attack characteristic. Go ahead and.
Can I delete that?
You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it, sweetheart. I got you.
Don't even.
Never happened.
Do better.
That would have been really terrible because you failed by enough that it would have detonated right where you're at. I would have killed you and Hatter, no questions. So. Chandler's like, fuck you, Jonah!
That message has been hidden, but you know what it says, Jonah.
I don't want to roll it now.
Click the attack characteristic.
Okay.
Alright. So, distance-wise, we are currently at a positional for 26 to 50 meters. Again, it doesn't show that on the map. If you were to track the trailer, that's not the thing that we're doing. But you needed a 15. You nailed it. You hit the target. You got 31 damage. That will... You watch as it hits, like the bike, just dead on, explodes, and you see parts of bike flying everywhere, and parts of people flying everywhere. It's an absolute horror show, but the bike disappears from the scene as everything continues onwards.
Do I continue to hang out, or can I go back in?
Yeah, you can pop back into cover, that's fine.
Alright, cool.
Okay. Hatter, you are driving. You can utilize some maneuvers here. If you'd like to, it's entirely up to you how you want to proceed. For the time being, you are kind of just driving. There's no ramming or pit maneuvers or anything crazy like that are available.
If I don't need to use my action to like do something with driving, I would like to use it for Dead or Alive and just give Crown 2 shots next turn, give him a bonus action.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, Dead or Alive. You're like, you know what to fucking do. Full bore.
Don't hit the fucking truck.
Okay. It'll go to the Raph and Shiv. As they're kind of pulling up with those two bikes, you've got a pretty clear eye on them, Gonzo. And Summer hasn't fully taken her position for firing yet. But those two cars are kind of pulling up. The seated gunners are going to take their shots. I am targeting with the one on the right, I am targeting the vehicle. I'm targeting Clarigo's vehicle. I am trying to break windows. And then with the other car, since you are open-topped, I am shooting into the car. I am rolling a dice. Based on random rolls, this is going to be targeting Gonzo. So Gonzo, you can still make evasion rolls. That's absolutely fine. If you'd like to go ahead and throw your evasion roll, I have my attack roll for the shot. 22 is what I got. Okay. So that will hit. You are in the car. You have options. So it's a body shot. However, Because a portion of you is in cover, you can say that you moved from played for cover. If you do so, I'm hitting the car instead of you.
I'll take the shot.
Okay. You're going to take 17 to the chest.
Okay. So I'll take 6.
Yeah, your SP will reduce by 2. They are using armor-piercing ammunition.
Cool.
All
I
right.
hate it.
And then you see them kind of just like light up Clarigo's car. They take out the windows on the driver's side of the vehicle. Gonzo, you are up, and then your charge will go after you.
The ones that's shooting at Clarigo's car, how far are they roughly?
So they are going to be, based on the metrics here, they are in between 3 and 25 meters. Or 13 and 25 meters. It's a typo.
So that's a big.
No. There's a typo. If you look at page 2 of that handout, the
You're
hot pursuit
okay.
one.
They're okay. They're okay. I mean, I'm just gonna go. We'll try and be lucky. Can I take an aim shot at the tire of the front of the motorcycle?
Yeah, aim shots -8 to your roll. But yeah, you can definitely
Okay.
shoot the tire out.
Ooh.
Okay.
So that's +5.
We are going to be at
2.
the 20 range. 29 to hit, -8, 21 will hit. You hit the tire. 15 is not sufficient to take the tire out. These are off-road tires, so when you hit it, you can see it kind of hit, and there's kind of a bit of a spark, which is not something you were expecting to see. Yeah, the tires have a total number of hit points of 30.
No,
Okay.
just do it again.
And that's it.
Hey, and quick question. For the perk, what's it called? Trekker's Mark.
hmm
When do I like designate that?
It's after initiative is rolled, so right after the roll.
Okay. I need to start doing that.
Yep.
All right, that's my turn.
So D, you are in. I believe you are in the Duke's car. The Duke is kind of holding his position, and the Duke will go after you. If you make a suggestion as to where he should be driving or what he should be doing, he will take it. Duke is a cool guy like that, but he's also a really badass driver, so he might do some shit on his own. The windows in Mooney's car are bulletproof glass, which means they have a 15 hit point total. And then the car is up armored, which means instead of having like a baseline time cover, they actually have their own like structural defenses. So they're gonna not get as badly shot up as the others. This is the safest car to be in.
All right. I'm not going to make any driving suggestions because I'm a bad driver. But I do want to open the door and see if I can hit the person driving.
Okay.
In the
Let's go ahead and discuss seating. So, Rem, since you were kind of not fixing somebody's leg, I'm assuming you are passenger princess. Is that fair to assume?
That works. Yeah.
And then I would assume that D, you're in the back with Nando. Do you want to be on the driver's side or passenger side?
I'll be on the passenger.
Okay. So you'll be popping up on the north side of the car in this map, and you kind of just pop the door open, reach the gun out, and kind of like take aim and fire. Go ahead and make an attack roll. And when you say at the driver, are we talking about the one directly behind your car?
Yes.
Okay. So we're looking at a distance of about 13 to 25. So the DV on this is 20. Your first shot is going to fire and kind of like go a little wide. You can kind of see it hit the sand a little ways behind him. Go ahead and make your second attack roll. Okay. Similarly, you kind of fire the shot, and it's just kind of like a little bit closer. You're trying to aim down to kind of off scale, and it kind of hits the sand in front of him. It definitely looks like it's a harder shot at this distance with a pistol. Okay. And then close the door back up for the cover.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Rem, you are up. You're directly in front of D as far as positioning goes, and kind of keeping an eye over your shoulder at what's going on.
Well, I can make a pistol shot.
Okay.
Not that it's going to be very good. Leaning out the window.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't make.
Exactly.
Unless you're Jonah.
Then you miss 100% of your shots.
Yeah.
Bro, you just shoot that. You pull out, you fire the pistol, go ahead and make your second shot. First one's going to be wide. It's the exact same number, that near, close to identical firing. So yeah, boom, 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 boom. The pistols are kind of popping out. The girlies are shooting out. There's just bullets kind of hitting the stand. Again,
we're trying our best.
These aren't terribly off. You guys are doing pretty good. And the rolls that you're making, like, yeah, again, you're doing good. Crown, you are up on the docket.
Oh yeah.
Two actions.
Two actions this turn.
I have a question.
And another rocket.
Is it automatically in it?
No, it's one. You threw it out the window. It's a disposable, and you got the second one.
Oh fuck
yeah!
Yeah,
laws
okay.
of pop and play.
I'm going to pull out my Masamune instead this time. Pop out the driver's side, or not driver's side, passenger side. So this guy would have to shoot over the Valentino car, right?
Yes.
That's the one that I'm popping shots at.
Gotcha. Can I see this guy from my position, or no? Is he invisible?
No, yeah, he's invisible to you at current.
Okay. So I'm going to try to shoot this guy then.
Okay. You can also make a suggestion to Hatter to move so you can get a better aim on it. Either slow down the car or pull to the side.
No, we're fine. We're fine.
So just for flavor, the way I assume it went is you kind of reached into the middle, Hatter, and pulled out the second law and like slapped it against his chest as he kind of got back into the car, and you said, "Fucking take him out!" And then he kind of pushes it down into his lap, and he's like, "I got this," and then pulls out the rifle, bleeds out, doom, doom, doom. Okay, so with a car in the way,
he's good.
We are looking at a distance of 26 to 50. The assault rifle in your positioning, I think you have a clean enough shot here that you're able to hit. But because of the angling, you're only able to hit the sidecar, not the driver. So that'll hit him in the chest, because you didn't aim shot it, right?
Yeah, no aim shot. This time I'm going to try to aim shot the dude, or the passenger princess.
Yeah. Well, you hit him in the chest. He looks pretty fucked up. Aim shot to the head. Go ahead. That's going to be a wide... that's going to be a wide miss. Roll me a D10.
D10.
Okay.
Is that it?
So as you're kind of like Gonzo, you kind of pop out, and during that round, Summer was getting into position, and the other girl was reloading her pistol. What you'll notice is that a bullet kind of hits the back end of your car from an angle that's not correct. And you kind of look out, and you can see Crown kind of leaning out, kind of like...
Pendejo!
Sorry. I'm just gonna get back in the car.
No, you don't. I push you back out for your second action.
You already took two actions, yeah.
That was the second action.
Oh, that's you only get one shot per round with that one? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, even still, anytime you have extra shots, it's always rate of fire 1 for the extra actions, by the way. As a note.
Just push him out.
Crown done. Hatter, you're up. It definitely looks like, as you're kind of looking at, you can see there's kind of a situation where the cars are kind of causing problems positionally. You can maneuver the car, like you can pull back, you can pull ahead. Pulling ahead requires a check, but pulling back does not. And then kind of drifting to the side a couple of squares is not a problem either. Do you want to move
I would have Gonzo on hollow, right?
Yeah, everybody's on a hollow.
Okay, I would directly be speaking to him. Do you want the cargo at all close to this?
Keep the civilians, keep the refugees away.
Okay. Now I would either stay put or try to push forward a little bit. I think in this position, I still want him to be able to shoot, so I would just stay put.
I would tell them that they want that, the way that they're positioning, they want your van.
Yeah. So as you kind of like, pay attention, you're not able to get ahead or pull ahead at all to like get some ground. So you kind of just maintain that same speed, and like, you're just as far as you understand it, the floor is where the pedal is currently. Like your metal leg is just like pushing it all the way down. But yeah, there's more to that than driving. Okay, it'll go to the Rapin. They will maneuver. This one, success, will pull up like so. And this one will pull up like so. As that happens, this one right here is going to
Quick question, John.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. I have see it coming.
Yeah, they're
Frozen
not
at
that
0 to
close.
4. All right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
unfortunately, the only way that that's going to trigger during this fight is if they get on your vehicle, which is not something that's not going to happen, by the way.
Okay, fair
It's
enough.
totally a possibility.
It will
Fair
happen.
So they pull up. This one here, it is going to full shoot at the Mooney car and kind of like try to shoot out the back window. And basically, D, you're back there, and Nando's kind of like ready, getting like psyching himself up during that last round to get ready to fight. You just see a bunch of bullets kind of just smash against the back window, and instead of like breaking the glass, it's just these kind of like bright white kind of thuds in the glass because it's bulletproof. And nothing breaks, nothing breaches. The other vehicle, as they pull up, you can see that the biker, like the one who's driving the bike, as he kind of maneuvers, you can see him smiling at you, like, you know, through these kind of like just gnarled, kind of like grisly looking like teeth and like just weird looking, just shattered beard. And he reaches down to his belt looking at you in the car, and he's saying something under his breath that you can't hear, he's too far away, but he pulls a grenade off of his belt and pulls the pin. He does not have an action to throw it yet, that's next turn. But the guy in the cart who's like got a bullet wound in his chest from fucking Crown kind of leans up over, pulls the rifle over top, uses the guy who's driving its shoulder as a mount, and is basically just going to start unloading into your car. It's going to be auto fire, and it's going to be at a random target, and by random I mean whoever is in the back left seat. So we discussed, Gonzo, you're in the passenger seat, Money's driving, Summer's in the back and is kind of in both chairs. Where do you think Sophia would be sitting? Left behind the driver.
I don't know, man.
Your call.
The way I would look at it is driver, passenger, driver, passenger.
Okay, so she's going to be behind she's going to be behind you then. So then this is going straight for Summer then.
Unfortunate.
Ooh, that hits a lot. Okay, so you see her kind of take a solid thudding to the chest. She's going to drop down, like back into the chair on a knee, and you see her kind of like slump over the HMG. She is seriously injured with that shot.
Okay.
But no critical injuries. Okay, Gonzo, you're up.
All right. Same shot. I'm gonna take an aim shot. Tire.
You shooting at the tire? You said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing I did before.
So we're learning a lesson. We're learning a lesson in dealing damage to items. So you have to do 30 damage in one go. So as you kind of shoot the tire again, you kind of realize that it's kind of hitting a different section of the tire as it spins, and it looks fucked up. It looks fucked up to shit, but it doesn't break. Same thing for a bulletproof glass. Same for a bulletproof shield. You have to dump through the cover to break it. It doesn't have a hit point total.
Sorry, I didn't understand. Well, I'll go ahead and take my second.
Learning is half the battle.
Like Kolesnikov, I'm shooting the dude with the grenade. I'm going to shoot the grenade.
Aim shot at the grenade. Okay. You're using the Kolesnikov once per fight action. Got it. That will hit, I believe.
So 32.
Yeah, we are currently at the 0 to 6 meter range at the extent of that.
So
for
that's
the purpose
even
of
higher.
firing. So that will definitely hit. You hit the grenade, you watch it detonate. Go ahead and roll me 66. Okay. So
that's unfortunate.
That is enough to like do a decent amount of damage to the tire. And that is it's kind of, because again, it's done in the same turn. And so you watch the front tire kind of break off its axis and start kind of blah, 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 blah. And then you'd also see that the explosion like hits the guy who's holding it and doesn't really do a shit ton of damage to his cyber arm, which is confusing to you. But the shrapnel from the grenade's explosion kind of goes over him and just obliterates the gunner, who literally just like flies off the side of the car in this spray of blood. The bike will then kind of back away as it is damaged and beyond repair. The driver of which, though, is still alive, surprisingly.
Can I use my move action to grab Summer and pull her down further into the...
Yep.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
okay with that. She's on her...
I'm on top of her.
On her initiative, so you kind of move to the back seat. Love that.
I am on top of her.
And
Yeah.
she's kind of like, once she's kind of in that position, you see her pull something out of her jacket and slam it into her neck. She is no longer seriously injured. Also, she didn't care that she was seriously injured because of the lace.
I know, she's laced up, but...
D, you see the situation behind you. That bike is getting kind of close to you. You can pop out and shoot again. You're currently at a situation where it's 7 to 12 meters. So closer and easier to hit. Muted if you're talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Popping the door back open to take more shots at it.
All right. That'll hit.
Dang, dang.
And the next one? That'll miss. The first one hits. You're going for the driver, of course. The sidecar's a little out of sight for you because of position.
Yes.
You see him kind of take a shot to the chest. You're kind of like, yeah, but it looks like his leathers kind of soak up a bit of that damage. And then the second shot, it's kind of like the first you kind of like try to fire off the recoil, so it's kind of just a shot wide up in the air. And then you pop back into the car, look over at, or kind of like tap Rem, who then pops out, I'm assuming, with the next initiative, and we'll take shots.
Yeah. Where'd he go? There he is. Boop. Boop.
Okay. So the first one will miss, the second one will miss. We're looking at 15 DV.
God damn.
I never said that I was good with guns.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Man, that first
not.
one would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been so
I know,
cool.
that would have been so rad.
You pop out, bang, bang, 2 shots. They kind of hit the armor of the bike, cleanly bouncing off, and then you shut the door. Crown, in your situation, the bike that's kind of dipping off, the driver is still visible to you, but his bike is immobilized. If you want to take the shot, you can, but there doesn't seem to be anybody else that's visible unless you want to get out of the van and on top of it.
No witnesses, Crown.
You say that out loud?
Yeah.
He'll pop out, and then he'll try to shoot the guy down here.
Take the shot. And you're at a distance that it'll be within, I think, 2650 or... Yeah, 2650.
Can I use a luck?
Yeah, you can always use luck.
Alright,
It's just you don't have a rocker, so you have to spend before you roll.
Yeah, gotcha. Alright, let me try.
19, and you're
okay.
just going for a chest shot. That'll work. Yeah, you hit him. You hit him dead on, and you just watch him kind of like he took the grenade hit. He's got some wounds, and he's kind of looking at himself, and then just a solid slug to the chest falls over his bike. He's dead.
Alright. You're gonna do the thing to, like, release the shells. And, like, got him.
Hatter, you're up.
Kill confirmed.
Again, from your driver's side and your rear view, it does look like there's one more bike that's kind of isolating in on... What do you want from me? Oh, okay.
Blast.
I don't know.
Hi, Laura!
I didn't put any in the fridge. They're in the...
Where are they?
Yeah.
You just failed her.
What do you want from me? I didn't know she was going to want Baja Blast. So, Hatter,
Why
like I was
would
saying, rear view
Baja
mirror, you can see that there's a bike pursuing Mooney's car. It doesn't look like it's having any luck shooting at it yet. Your move, though, Hatter. Anything?
Not really.
Okay.
I don't want to try to get around Mooney's car to give a shot, so it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, it's working out great, let's just keep going.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So then it'll go to that last one. They're going to shoot at Mooney's car again. jackhammer slamming into the rear window, it is actually going to break out the bulletproof glass. It's not a massive, just like shattering. There's just now a punctured hole about where you're seated, D. It looks like they're trying to shoot you specifically. And at this move, it'll go to Gonzo. And D, you're on deck.
Aim shot to the guy's head.
Okay.
That's driving.
Take it.
Bang bang.
That'll hit.
Additional D6.
Yep, roll it. Okay. 12 damage, doubled, 24.
Tripled.
And this is a headshot, roll an additional D6. Sorry. New rule, by the way, homebrew. If you're shooting somebody with a pistol in the head, D6 extra damage.
Fuck yeah. And then
you said
this
tripled?
is sick too. Yeah, because I have
right. Yeah, his head clean off. That'll work. Okay, segment done. That bike will just continue to trail away. I'll say that because his head gets exploded violently, it kind of careens in a way that causes the sidecar to fold, and the guy dies in the crash. Maintaining this initiative, but cycling all the way back around to the top of it. This next segment, pause while I change the music up. You come up over that ridge and you're descending down. You're heading down, and I know you can't see me as I'm making gestures because there's a cat in the way. But as you're descending down, you're entering in what is known as Vasquez Pass. And at this moment, you see Duke kind of like look over at you as you're driving, kind of past Rem Hatter, and he kind of nods his head, and you see the car just book it and move directly in front of your vehicle. And one other thing is happening.
Would it be okay?
Go ahead.
Would it be okay to do threat detection?
Yeah,
While
you
we're
can
not
switch to
like
threat.
directly in combat. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. But you would see that like as you're kind of moving down, the ground is a bit more like flattened and leveled around the wind fans or the windmills, and it seems to be a bit of an easier drive. But it's also an easier drive, not just for you, but also for the cars. And 4 of them would kind of ride up and kind of catch up to you at this point.
Oh, never mind. Don't need threat detection.
They're here.
Yeah,
you got that extra rocket, so
Threat detected.
I would say that. Oh, hold on a second. I see what's happening. Bear with me here for a second. Roll20 is being goofy. Roll20. Why does this happen? Can you tell me, baby cat?
Bite.
It's kitty.
Can you tell me, Shimbogi?
Because not enough churu.
Shimbert? Shimbrugi?
Not enough print, to be honest.
Shim Creme Brulin? Shimbugo Bobo Cat? Shimblorgo? Shimba Dimba?
Did he do his daily print today?
No, he doesn't do daily prints anymore.
Well, there's the
That's
problem.
Okay.
One.
Initiative, turn order,
Daily
cool.
print.
Music, changing. Roll20, you're a goober sometimes, but whatever. Wait, that's not the one I want. That's the one I want.
I honestly don't know if I can use the rocket.
All right. So at this point, 4 cars pull up very quickly. Just kind of describe them. They look like just wasteland cars. There is a massive throng well behind that of cars. It looks like the cars that are well behind are more technicals. I don't know if that is a term that people know. I know Chandler knows the term technical, but for those who don't, they're trucks that have mounted weapons on their pickup side. The vehicles that you're looking at here look like they're kind of like dragsters or, big old LMGs or HMGs. But these ones here that are kind of catching up on you are not too dissimilar from your vehicles besides the van. And again, the only reason they're able to keep pace with you or kind of catch up with you is because of the van. Crown, as they pull up into this position, that lead car, that white car, it doesn't look like it gives a fuck about anything. Like if you kind of have like that tactical sense as threat detection's up and you're kind of switching it out at the beginning of the initiative that's now restarting, it looks like it's going to missile straight into the back of your vehicle.
Shit. Alright, I'm gonna try to use the lawman rocket launcher on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna pop out again and then try to shoot it.
Okay.
I'm giving him 1 luck for this as well.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna use one of my luck.
Anybody else want to chip in?
I'll give him a luck.
I'll throw one.
3, 4, okay.
Give him
tight,
2.
I'll love that.
You can't give one. You can only give one at a time. Chipping in new.
Oh.
Yeah. You
That's
change it.
5. That's 5 left.
It got a little crazy when basically the entire team just dumped their luck into one roll, and that was like the crux of
Well,
the session.
I'll be honest. Integers of 2 are more ideal for me. So,
But one
I'll
is
take
the
it back.
number, regardless.
yeah,
so
I
five.
need integers of
5
2.
left.
Too bad.
Too bad.
Okay.
That is a very clean roll. You didn't add the luck yet, right?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Holy shit.
That's 30.
Okay. That's clean as hell. That's real clean.
31.
That's so goddamn clean. Holy shit.
You could have hit a 400-meter shot
Okay.
with the luck. Holy crap.
So I'm going to describe it from Gonzo, since like Gonzo's kind of the main character for this narrative. But Gonzo, you're kind of like seeing the situation come up, and as they're pulling up, you're like, you've dumped the rounds for your boom buster, and you've reloaded, and you're looking at Summer, who's kind of like, the speed hill's taken hold, and she's kind of like getting back up, and you're like, okay, and she's like lifting up the HMPG, and you're both like super focused. It's about to like jump into Valhalla kind of situation, and then you look out and see the streak of bright red, and when you kind of look over your shoulder, you see the Kiwi kind of leaning out of the fucking van side door with the law, and he's just kind of throwing it over his shoulder. And as you kind of snap back with your massive Korenzikov reflexes, you look at the white lead car that was like missiling straight towards your charge. It hits the window and breaches the window without exploding, and then kind of regularly detonates against the center console, or not the center console, the center chair position. It like hits the chair and detonates there. When it explodes with such ferocity and kind of motion that it blows the back end of the car out and to the side, and it smashes into the car next to it. And the violence of this explosion is so massive, these two cars erupt in flame immediately. And there's just these two bodies of cars that are just like as they disappear off into the distance as you continue swarming on. The white car that was like leading, when it hit, like the violence of the explosion caused it, instead of like, continuing forward, it forced it down and flattened it and then kind of forced it backwards.
Oh my god.
It was a
Very nice.
perfect rocket launcher shot.
He's just gonna kind of mic drop the rocket launcher onto the
Yeah, and that's the part you saw. Like, as he dropped that shit before he hit, like before they hit. Like he was like shooting, and you kind of like flash looked over at him, and he was just like, "Look clean! It's so clean." Hatter, you are up. Looking in the rearview mirror, it's just a plume of fire and smoke, and you're kind of like, moving and looking ahead of you, and you're realizing that if your other cars don't get in behind you and are not following, it's 9 o'clock.
I would scream that over the hollow. Like, I would very quickly say, get in formation, get in line.
Okay.
1, to protect me. 2, also, like you said, we're in the mines. It would be pretty rough to deal with at the moment, losing any car.
On the
They would hear that, wouldn't they? Like,
yeah.
Money
They're all on hollow.
Yeah.
Money kind of looks panicked at the situation, and on his initiative after your turn, he'll start that move. You see one of the Raph and Shiv cars, kind of like a dune buggy, kind of pull up, and then you'd also see this kind of faster car kind of pull up and then pull up again and actually zip past the Valentino cars. When this happens, the yellow car is going to fire suppressive fire at Money's car. I need you to make a concentration roll, and I'll do likewise for your crew. Okay? Yeah, you're fine. So you kind of like the bullets are just flying past you, and you kind of like you're standing there or like sitting there stoically. Summer drops back down to cover, panicked, and then you would see that Sophia does likewise. And Money is kind of like holding his position. Bullets are kind of whipping past him, but he doesn't look like he loses his cool.
Okay. So if I have to grab the will, I will.
Yep. You'd also see that inside of that dune buggy, there's the guy who's kind of coming out with a LMG. It looks like a cheap, old Browning. And then there looks like there's another guy in the back seat who is apparently loading a China Lake or a grenade launcher.
Okay.
The red car that moves past, Crown, as you fire your rocket, you see it kind of come up, and you see a guy like in the driver's seat kind of look over at you, and the guy directly behind him, windows already down, like pulls out a weapon and fires it at you. It looks like it's a pistol, but it's so sudden you're not sure what kind. Because you said you strapped yourself into the seat for bracing, you cannot make an evasion roll.
That's fine.
There's nowhere to move. And taking the shot. That'll hit you dead in the chest. And it's going to be a shit ton of damage.
Fuck. Okay.
It's going to be a total of 24 points of damage. That is so insane.
Jesus.
And I
How
rolled
many,
double sixes, so there is a critical injury here. So hold on.
Oh.
Got a
How many
pneumothorax,
ablations?
friend.
I typically like to have people roll their own fate, so go ahead and roll 2d6 for me.
2d6. Gotcha.
Yes.
And then how much does it ablate?
So it'll ablate 2. These guys are using AP.
2. Okay.
It hits you dead in the chest, right? And you feel it hit, but it doesn't like your armor is obviously still intact. It doesn't go through and puncture, right? It kind of hits, and you can kind of feel the point of the bullet like slap against your skin and kind of breach. But the force of the blow to the chest causes your ribs to break on that side of your body. You have the broken ribs injury effect, and what it says is at the end of every turn where you move farther than 4 meters on foot, which you won't be doing, you will re-suffer the critical injuries-based damage directly to your hit points. What I will say is for a narrative point is if I somehow get you out of the vehicle and throw you onto the ground, that will be a lot of damage all at once, just as a heads up.
The speed heal help with that? I forget.
Speed heal does not. To get rid of
It doesn't heal criticals.
Yeah, to get rid of a critical injury on the fly, someone with paramedic will need to use an action. Roll a paramedic check, DV13. They're Gucci to continue without the effect.
Is that technique?
I can get you some hit points back though on my turn.
Paramedic is under technique, but it's a ×2 skill that only med techs typically purchase. And you have a med tech, she's in a car in front of you.
Yeah. Okay.
Gonzo, you're up. Situationally, you're kind of like, surprised that a lot of the weight has already been taken off of the plate due to that rocket launcher.
Fuck yeah.
But
I'm gonna wait for Money to like start shifting the car into line so I can get closer to the guy with the grenade launcher.
Okay.
But I'm sorry to cut you off. What were you gonna say?
You're readying for Money to move. I don't think I was going to say
Yes.
anything. Probably Money does so, and once he gets
Okay,
into the conga line, so to speak, you're going to take your shot.
Yes.
Okay,
Aim shot at the dude with the grenade launcher. Headshot.
that'll work. We're at the 7 to
Cool.
12.
A roll 2d. Wait, 1d6.
1d6 because you're not.
I don't know how many d6s.
Just an extra one because you're hitting with a pistol, and no double sixes, and then triple damage to the head, or just
Yes.
double. Okay.
Should be triple.
Okay.
Another 42 damage.
You watch his head cleanly explode inside the vehicle as you take the shot.
And this is not considered a new combat, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. That's my turn.
D, you see kind of a bullet slam into Crown as he's kind of like leaning out of the vehicle. He's kind of like hanging in the van in front of you. Duke is very focused and seems to be kind of maneuvering in a specific and sort of way. The tension here is very high. Is there anything that you want to do situationally, keeping in mind too that the window behind you is kind of broken out, So there's kind of like a bit of open air for you to kind of reach out and shoot at the red car if you want to.
I definitely will shoot at the red car.
Okay.
Because I want them gone.
And you're going for the driver?
Yes, the driver.
Cool. Perfect angle on that. So that will, unless you have any perks, I don't think. Oh, you do. Don't you have the perk that says? No, that's not you. That's a different person. Sorry.
I have one perk.
Yes, and it's going to reap benefits. Okay, it's going to be good. You're going to get a bunch more IP than everyone else. It's going to be great. However, that shot will miss. It kind of just hits near to him. Second shot. And if you want to spend luck before you roll, you can.
No, I have very little faith.
Also going to be a miss. Okay.
Nando, do you have a better gun?
He looks at you and kind of like has the assault rifle. He's been on the wrong side of everything for a while, and he kind of hands it over to you because he can't get a good angle without taking up your space. So he hands you his assault rifle.
I think I can shoot this time.
Yeah. Rem, you are up. As mentioned, the back window's kind of broken out a bit. If you wanted to dive out of the back and get onto the van, or if you want to just shoot out the side, you can do that too.
Yeah, we'll hop on to the van.
Okay. So because you are exiting the vehicle and kind of moving out, hold on.
Yep.
I just need you to make a athletics check.
I'll give you a point of luck because I wanted to
give you
spend
luck.
2.
So it's 2 luck.
So 2
2 luck.
luck.
Yeah, easy.
21.
This is cake.
Alright, cool.
You kind of just lean back in the chair and kind of lean it back a little bit, which kind of bumps into Dee and Nando as they're figuring out the gun situation. You kind of push that all away, and you're like, no, and then just kind of pull the glass open, lean out, kind of sliding out like a snake, standing up in like a superhero pose with your claws like embedded into the armor of the Uni's sedan, and then you just kind of leap up in the air like Trinity style and land on the hood and then up onto the roof of the car. And you guys on the van, you hear clink clink as her fingers kind of embed in the top.
Am I looking at her in the face as she's doing the spider climb?
There's a moment where she's on the hood and like leaping back up onto the roof of the car. You see that, and then when you're kind of leaning out, you kind of look up, and she's kind of like postured like Spider-Man style up on the top of the vehicle. Crown, you are up.
Alright. I'm gonna try to shoot the driver in the red car.
Oh, sorry, pause for a
I'm at
second.
10.
Sorry, pause for a second.
Okay. Awesome.
Hatter, since you're Chandler, since you're the one driving, go ahead and roll me 2d10.
Oh no.
Can we give him luck?
No, there's no luck necessary here. Okay, so as you're driving, you see the yellow car. It's kind of pulling alongside and kind of moving that way, and you can see Duke in the car. D like very focused and very stern. It's at this moment that during this initiative, all of the drivers are going to have to make a driving roll to maintain the Congo line. And sorry, Clarigo would have. I forgot. Clarigo would have moved into position as well. But basically, you have to kind of stay in focus and kind of keep behind Duke because he's starting to maneuver. With those rolls, what that meant was his random chance for mine detonation. The yellow car explodes in a violent explosion and just disappears in flame.
Fuck yeah.
So, Crowd, you're up.
I'm going to attempt auto fire on the red car.
Okay.
20.
And you are at distance of, I said 13 to 25 because 2 squares. And you're shooting at the driver, I presume?
Yes.
Okay. That'll work. And you hit by more than... Looks like you hit by... Do you have any bonus to targeting scope, right?
Do I? I don't think so, no.
You don't have a targeting
Because
scope?
That would be
Oh yeah,
on
that's Cyberpunk. You're not that guy.
yeah. I
So
would
3.
have it on smart glasses, but I never bought any.
3 times 9 is a number. What is it?
27.
Okay. So you shred into the driver. It looks like he's kind of hanging on his last life here. Like very
Nice.
barely hanging on. Hatter, you are up. I need you to make a drive land vehicles roll.
Oh, fun.
DV is going to be for the first leg of this is going to be 13. Nailed it.
Need to save that for later, but is there any
to-
way I can also stab a speed heal in my dude? Like, just literally.
You are not a
not-
doctor, so you cannot apply a speed heal.
Oh, no. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
The red vehicle is going to drive and slam into that vehicle. I need everyone on board to go ahead and make me a endurance roll. DV is different for
God
people
damn
who are on
it.
top of it. It's okay.
Ooh,
Now's your time.
Uh,
Actually, I wouldn't be on. I don't know. You do you.
come on, Spider-Man.
Got 14.
Endurance is under body. Okay, nailed it. So with that, Rem, because you are on top, you have a couple of options here. Option the first is because of the power of the hit. With that endurance, you kind of have the brace, but you're capable and athletic enough to be able to use the force of the blow to guide you back onto Mooney Sedan. You can maintain your position locked onto the roof, or you can use the recoil of the bounce from the hit to land on their car.
on their car.
Okay.
We'll pick you up later.
Alright.
So there, Crown, you are inside of the car as it's coming. You got a decent enough endurance to brace against the attack, the ram
Right.
attack. You're going to be taking some damage, more so depending on how you answer this question. As the car's coming up, do you reflexively pull the door closed, or do you try and maintain kind of an outward position?
I try to pull the door closed.
Okay, success, and you'll take a total of 13, which doesn't even damage your armor. So
Okay.
basically, you take most of it in the flak and just kind of pull the door shut.
Wait,
But
body or
huh?
is it body armor or head armor?
Oh no! It's
Body.
body. Sorry,
Okay.
you
Because
have
my body is 13.
yeah. So it didn't surpass that, so we're good.
Okay.
But when you slam the door, like out the window, you can see the car kind of like locked up against it, which means you can't open the door anymore. And the window is
Shit.
basically kind of just shattered. Like, you know how tempered glass kind of like becomes just a bunch of squares?
Yeah.
That's where you're at right now with vision. But for some reason, there's this very bright aquamarine and purple colored form on top of the car. Gonzo,
pretty.
from your position, you can see that situation kind of unfolding. Without drawing money out, you really don't have an angle on anything besides the back end of that car. There are no people that are visible.
I mean, can I hold my shot at all?
Yeah, you can ready
When
it,
the
and
car
like once you
moves?
get a line on somebody, you take the shot for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna.
D, as you kind of see, Rim on top of the car, and you've got the assault rifle, you kind of pull the assault rifle back down, realizing you're now in close distance for the pistol. And if you'd like, you can go ahead and take a shot at the driver again.
Oh yeah,
And
you betcha.
I'm pulling the AR onto your sheet, by the way.
Wing.
Nice.
I am trying to pull the AR onto your sheet, but roll.
Okay, you got 2 shots. Not
Give me
Yeah,
one.
that's why you got second chance there.
First shot is going to miss. Go ahead and take the second one. And we're at 0 to 6. We're not technically point blank, but for shooting purposes we are. So 13 is the DV. That'll hit. 12 damage to him. He's already taken damage from who did he get hit by? Gonzo?
Crown.
Crown.
Crown's
auto
fire.
That's right. Auto fire. So you managed to get that last shot in and kill the driver. Rem, you're going to be next on the docket. The car's not just going to careen away. You would, on top of the car, kind of looking in, see the driver is dead. But the car is locked up with a van. So if he does start slowing for whatever reason, it's going to slow the van. If he
Yeah.
does start accelerating, it's going to careen the van in one direction or the other. And yeah, if he starts listing or drifting in any direction, it's also going to pull or push the van with it. So with that being the situation on deck, what would you like to do?
There were other people in the car, right?
There is one other person in the car, and they are the passenger. It looks as though, from what you can see, they don't have a weapon.
Okay. I'm also not good at driving, but fuck it, we ball. So she's
Well, the car detaching is probably the more important part, is what I was trying to relay there. Sorry. Up to you if you want to
the
break.
car.
Yeah, because they're when they slam together, there's kind of like a
Yeah.
connective kind of like.
Oh, like I could like jump back on the van and just push the car off?
That's a possibility. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd try and do that.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics roll.
All right.
What? One luck.
You're spending so much luck, Jonah.
I really am.
Okay.
23.
So
on things you don't need to.
Rem, you kind of like move
Very
across the car a
athletic.
bit and kind of come down to like a part that's a little bit more solid on the van, and then you slam both of your hands, kind of like stretching your arms out like almost crucifix style, and slam your fingers into the panel. Press both of your feet against the car and push as you're kind of like pushing your back against the vehicle. And there's this moment where you just kind of hear this kind of wrenching metal clash, and then the car just kind of moves off to the side and kind of starts going really, really fast and like zooming off in the right direction. And we'll discuss what happens in the next beat. Oh, you were last on the initiative, so we'll discuss it now. Boom, explodes, a mine hits it, and since there are no cars directly chasing you at this point, you're kind of moving through this pace, kind of moving with him. I need one last roll from Hatter to follow the line. And then Rem, for this next kind of stretch as you're moving through the explosion zone, you're just up on top of it. You kind of move back to your position, perched up on top of the vehicle. Wind's flying through your hair. There's the occasional like gnat that kind of like just like slams into your face. Not
the desert gnat.
Yeah, there's obviously a bit of sand as well, but you're moving very, very fast. Hatter, you keep pace. Duke is actually surprised to see it, and Money and Clarigo are kind of a little bit slower behind and kind of lose pace a bit, but they follow the route directly. Okay, next beat. So you pull out of the sands and drive up onto I-9. And you are basically at this position that I'm showing you visually. You're turning left. If you were to turn right, you'd be heading towards like Nevada. But since we're turning left, we're heading towards Night City. With that turn, what you'll notice is that up on the ridge a ways, it looks like they kind of went and circumnavigated the minefield. You see a bunch of cars kind of coming up onto I-9 and pursuing. At this point, Duke pulls back a bit and kind of gets into formation and is going to follow wherever the van goes. We're into more of a defensive posturing. What I need to stress here in this next beat, and hold on, sorry, my map, I think we skipped this one here. We didn't deal with the going around the mines because you guys decided to go through. We're now on the road. What I need to kind of relay here is a choice. And the choice is going to fall to Hatter or Gonzo. Up ahead, when you drove up this way, you broke away from the road at a point ahead of a Militech checkpoint. I'm going to show you what that looks like. There is a checkpoint for people getting into and out of the city. Effectively, about 20 miles east from here is the NUSA, right? Part of California, Southern California. The borderline kind of runs pretty congruently eastward. So Militech has the right to maintain this checkpoint. You can stay on the road, enter the checkpoint, and try and maneuver through the checkpoint like regular people. Option 1. You can blow through the checkpoint and figure out what happens there, again, with hell at your heels. Or you can attempt to get off of the highway and onto the railway and drive dirty that way. These are your three choices. Your only three choices.
I mean, what do we have that Militech would want? Like, we don't have any. I have nothing that. I have no history with Militech that I know of. I've not played in a while, so I don't think.
I only have slightly positive Militech. Nothing really detrimental. I mean, I handed over someone kind of important.
Yeah,
They're
apparently,
gonna want a bunch of refugees. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
If we're going through the checkpoint, Rim would want to get back into the car.
Okay. Yeah, obviously. What the fuck is she doing?
By the way.
Okay. So Hatter, are you making
Not
the
just
Hatter and Gonzo,
Right.
are you folks making the call that you're going to try and play it safe and deal with Militech while the crew that's behind you, like?
I mean, can I think of any reasons or any objections that I should have?
I'm
with my
I'm
crew?
not doing any leading or anything here. There's.
I know, but I'm like, there's no reason that I should be afraid of.
yeah,
Militech.
I'm also going to do a lot better talking to someone versus like trying to drive through something all cool and special.
Okay.
So I would much rather deal with the checkpoint than deal with the repercussions of missing the checkpoint.
Now here's the next interesting question. So Mooney's car is going to pull to the back regardless. Duke does not want to be the first car in. He's letting you folks lead. With that
Smart.
being said,
Does Duke have reservations?
Duke doesn't have reservations. Duke's just on the job. He is the follower. He is the employee. He is not going to be the one that
Not the
speaks
boss.
for your crew.
Okay.
He's not going to be the guy who says, yeah, these guys behind me. That's not him. So does the van
Because
go
armor is
first?
cool.
Or does Money's car go first? Or does Clarigo's car go first? I need to know.
I mean, we can pull up and go first.
Okay. Perfect. As you pull up in your swanky car and the line forms behind you, the Militech operative kind of moves over to your vehicle, taps the hood of your car, and then kind of looks over at you as he kind of comes around, looking at Money, and he says, okay, I just need to see some Night City IDs. Only citizens are welcome in. And Money's kind of reaching and pulling out his and like shows it to the guy. And then he kind of looks at the rest of you, and you all kind of pull yours out. You would see that Sophia pulls out a Night City ID and shows it off. Like a quick glance, Gonzo, you're able to tell that her last name is Kressler, which again, you don't know. It's just a name that kind of sounds familiar to you. And then he kind of is talking to you for just a few seconds, and your line's formed, everything's happening. You hear something on his radio, kind of static, but like sounds like jargon. And then you see a bunch of Militech vans kind of pull up onto the street. He looks at you and says, you and your crew can go. Come on, move it along. And you see him lifting up his Militech Ajax as he's gesturing for you to continue on. Do you have
Okay, cool.
Money drive on?
Yeah.
Hatter, as you pull up, he's pushing you along. He's like, come on, move. And then you see him stop and kind of look back a second at your vehicle. You see his eyes kind of flare red for a second, and then he shrugs, and then he looks back the way he was looking. Clarigo passes by. Duke kind of pulls up to the checkpoint as well, and similarly is being kind of waved through. And as you're like getting out, D and Rem, and seeing like, you know, from your perspective what's happening, you would see that all of the cars that were chasing you in the sands are making their way to the checkpoint now, and they're about to try and breach it. And it looks like the Militech vans and such have formed a line, and they're preparing to fight them.
They're dumb.
Hell yeah.
As you press on,
Thank you, Militech.
you see a massive explosion, vans being knocked from the side, a huge bout of gunfire, and you would see that as you're kind of pressing forward into heavier traffic, because again, you're on I-9, you would see that 3 more vehicles come up behind you that appear to be the RAF and Shiv. These are trucks with machine guns on top, and they look like they do not give a fuck about anything anymore. They're the ones that pierce through. Whatever they want it, and they are going for it. I'm going to go ahead and play the next beat of combat music. We are cycling back at the top of the initiative. Based on everything we discussed... Oh, sorry, I gotta get Rem off there. Back into the car.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. And we drive on the right side of the
I
road.
could have just put it back in the box.
Could have just put it back in the box.
I forgot about the box. I'm sorry.
Before, or like, I guess while this is happening, Kai's just gonna get on the radio and talk to D. Whenever you can, Doc. Need you to fix me chest.
Yeah, when we're done, sounds great.
Copy.
Crown, you're up. Because of the line of combat, you see the technicals. They're very much pulling like alongside. It looks like they're getting ready to overtake Mooney's vehicle, and it does look like whatever they're going after. It does appear to be the van.
Yep. I'm gonna hop up. I'm gonna lean. Oh wait, no, the door's fucked, isn't it?
The door is fucked. You cannot pop out any longer. You can, however, break the window out fully. It'll take an action for you to shatter and clear it to get out. You will not be able to
Get that
use
lean
it.
on.
I will do that. I'll break the window.
Okay. Hatter.
Yep.
You're up.
Do I need to make a driving roll, or can I give him
You're
a double
driving
action?
Full
straight-
ahead.
Right now, you're driving straight line, so you don't have to. If you want to pull ahead of the money's car, you need a driving roll.
Okay, we're doing a driving roll.
All right. DV is 15. You need a 16 or better. Nailed it. Fucking
Uh,
nailed it.
Ooh,
Oh,
I'll
hell
go
yeah.
ahead and give you full. I'll give you full distance on that, baby. That was a hella good roll.
that's tight. That is tight.
Okay. On their initiative, they are going to pull forward, and this one is going to kind of bump into the back of Mooney's car. Is going to attempt a pit maneuver. Duke is going to roll contested. It's not a situation where Duke is reversing it. Basically, they're trying to pit, and Duke is able to kind of maintain and kind of pull ahead a little bit, causing it to kind of not careen fully, and both cars are still kind of on the road. Is everybody familiar with a pit maneuver? Sorry, is that something? Okay, a pit is when you kind of pull your car alongside the back end and push your front of your car against the back of their car so that it causes the car to caddy to the side and kind of drift into something else. Basically, it's used by law enforcement to kind of get bad drivers off the road quickly.
Could you also do that, like, with the side of the car? Like, to hit this
Yeah,
side?
yeah. You can. Basically, you're trying to hit the back end and cause it to kind of no longer be driving straight.
Fishtail.
Gotcha.
You want it to
Okay.
fishtail. So that's what the driver in that car is doing. While that's happening, though, the gunner on the back is just fully shooting into the car. As discussed, the bulletproof glass in the back has been damaged. So, D, this shot is going to be shooting at you and Nando.
Not the doc.
It hits, but it doesn't hit super great. It's going to do a total of 7 points of damage to you and Nando. Nando's Kevlar armor is able to sustain. You have armor plating, right?
Yes.
What's the value? Do you see a value there?
11.
Yeah. It basically, the bullets are bouncing off your skin. Okay.
I give him a middle finger for sure.
Fuck you. The other two technicals pull up alongside Clarigo's car and just start unloading on it. And this would be the moment where Corey would have had to make a cool check. So Clarigo's tires get shattered out, and the car is going to kind of move to the side and slow down a bit. Duke is going to roll instead. So this will happen. And then this will happen. It looks like Clarigo's car is still moving. The tires are shattered, though, and it's kind of running on the rim on the back left tire.
Oof.
I mean, he's still pushing it. We just got to get past the
Right.
dollop of sunshine, and we're good. Gonzo, you're up.
Money. Try and back up to our boys.
If
So
you're
I'll
ready
kinda
in
wait for him to
action,
come
yeah,
out.
he'll drop back.
Yeah. Take an aim shot on the driver, the car on my side,
Okay.
right here.
Oh, that side of okay.
Yeah, I think I'm on the driver or passenger side, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll hit.
Headshot. So, would I roll 1d6 for Rio Bravo?
Yeah, because we're within the 0 to 6.
Man, my rolls suck.
And then you roll another d6 because you targeted the head.
Just make this one better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
There you
6 plus 12, 18 times 3. You kill the driver. Okay. That will result.
You are scary with that pistol, man.
At the end. They're not wearing armor on their head. It's really not that bad, actually. Like, it's just because you're fighting Raph and Shiv. If any of them had helmets on, it would be less.
None of them wear
spectacular.
helmets.
Right.
That's why they tried to bull rush through a Militech checkpoint.
There's a lot of them. There's only 2 fucking vans for the Militech patrol. Okay, chill.
I'm just seeing like
Doing
numbers
their
like
best.
54 damage in one shot with that headshot. That's why I'm like, armor or not.
No,
like,
because okay, 18. If I was wearing just like baseline SP11, it would be 7, and then 7 times 3 is only 21. So
oh, do you not take the triple value in? Oh, okay.
Only
damage
damage
first,
triple.
and then the damage
Okay.
that gets through you triple.
21 is still per round. That's
Sure,
nothing.
sure, but it's again situationally. These guys are idiots for sure.
Yeah.
Gonzo, anything else done? Right?
Yeah, I'll reload as a free action.
Okay. Summer's gonna pop up and she's gonna unload the HMG on the one on the other side. So let's see. Yeah, mostly just sparks. She's trying to get at the driver, but the roll cage is kind of like really a problem for her. And then the girl looks at you and says, I can help. And she'll jump from the back of the car onto Mooney's car. And then she is going to fire her right hand through the front window of Clarigo's car. And so she is now here. And then once that's done, D, like in the side of your car, you see a massive other hand kind of slam inside and grab a hold of the hood of your car. So she's basically now created a effective tow using her grapple hand for Clarigo's
She's surfing.
car. No.
She's car surfing!
She's not car surfing. She literally turned herself into a wench. Or
Joe
not
Yeah.
wench, a winch. I can't
A
even.
bar wench!
I didn't mean to say wench. I meant winch. She shot her hand through the window. She's holding onto Clarigo's car, so it won't lose pace because it's going to be dragged by Mooney's car.
Yeah.
Misogyny?
Fuck you all. Okay, and everything explodes. Everything.
Not my van. It's way up there, and I've been quiet.
You know what?
I pushed the crown out.
Except for D. D doesn't explode.
Reggie,
Artie hasn't been
Joe.
giving
Whoa.
me shit.
When
your
did I
turn.
give you shit?
You know what? Fine. The ladies can survive. D's up. So as mentioned,
Rock,
that's the
sorry.
situation. You
Isn't
have-
that also misogyny?
There's a car to your side. There's a car to your side. It looks like your friendo is pulling the assault rifle off of your lap, and it looks like he's going to be shooting on the southern side. So he's going for the red car.
Alright. Well, if that's the case, then I'll shoot. No, we should probably double. No. I'll shoot to the one to the north.
Okay, so you'd see that the driver is dead in that car, and as you're kind of looking at it, you would see that in that moment, the passenger is like pushing him out because again, it's more like a Jeep than a full-on truck, so it doesn't have like car doors or anything. So basically, the driver is being pushed out. It looks like they're going to be replaced with a passenger. So
Ready to get shot in the head too.
you want to
Let's
shoot
go.
them as well?
Yeah, just a little bit.
They're like lemmings. So you're at point blank on this one. So 13 was the DV. That'll hit 9. 2 will get through their armor. Second one hits, and then their armor is pretty much fucked. But that will seriously injure them. They're not terribly high on hit points. Okay. Good
Bang, bang.
shit. Make it easier for the next person shooting. Rem, you're in the passenger side. If you want to go pistols, you can. I would say you're too far away for... If you could
It would just be
describe...
really.
If you can describe to me how cool a maneuver would be for you kind of popping out and trying to extend yourself as far as you can to make a melee attack against them, and your description is cool enough, I will allow it.
You don't even know. It's gonna be so cool.
I believe in the chat someone said Van Damme their asses. If you get the reference, you can go for it. But yeah, there is something that I'm definitely thinking of here. If you want to try it.
Don't know what that means.
Okay, so you have a car door.
Yeah, and I open it, and then
You
like, shoot out from
Yeah,
it,
like
grab onto the handlebar thing.
well, no,
on top
you also
there.
have
I don't
feet.
know.
Like just like hold onto it with your legs and like reach out and like kind of create a position where your legs are holding on the edge of the car door and their car door, and then you're fighting into them while doing the splits.
That's 4 meters. Her
No.
legs are not
Can remember,
long.
measurements are not accurate.
Oh.
We're in goofy car logic right now.
It's anywhere from
Okay.
0 to 6 meters.
And also the car door's opening, and the car door's about 1 meter long, so...
Hold on, I've been sent a gift. Ah! Okay.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Now you understand. So what I'm going to need from you is an athletics check, and then you can make your attacks.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want luck?
No. I'm gonna probably regret saying that, but
Okay. The
Alright.
one time.
No, you don't have to regret
Okay,
it.
okay.
So yeah, you do exactly as described, and you're kind of like doing the splits and kind of leaning in and slashing at the passenger. Go ahead and make 2 Ripper attacks. Or, if you prefer, you can attempt to grab them, which would be a brawling roll.
it's like even Steven there.
Well, if you grab them, basically it would be an instantaneous. There is no driver. The car starts to careen away. You pull back onto the car, and you're dragging them onto the concrete. Or you can slash them to death. I do know you like slashing things to death.
I do like slashing things to death.
Go for it.
15 and 17.
Both of those will hit, and he's already taken damage from D, so the two of you combine together. You kind of reach in, grasp onto his shoulder, pull him out a little further, and then slash him across his face. You just see, like, the nose, the eyes, all of it just kind of flash off, and he's just, like, gurgling blood as you kind of pull back into the car.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's a fun fact. You're in traffic, I mentioned that. So, Chandler, you're pulling up, and during your turn, you'll need to maneuver around traffic, or you're going to be slowed, because they're not driving like they're insane. The other factor here is that oncoming traffic is a thing, and I need to make a driving roll with this guy.
You're telling me I couldn't hire a driver for this mission?
That'll fail, and so this guy will actually get hit by an oncoming car as they try to maneuver around each other, and he will disappear from the action.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
You guys have been really good on the environmentals, by the way. Very lucky on those. Crown, you are up.
Alright. If I pop
Oh,
out...
sorry, apologies. This car is also falling away. There's no driver.
Oh yeah, okay. Ah, that's a bad shot.
That's an impossible shot.
Yeah.
Not if you're shooting a rocket.
I don't have any...
It's never
I used
impossible if
them
you're
all.
shooting a rocket. Anything is possible with rocket fire and Crown.
I've used all of them. Do I take the risk?
No.
Hmm.
Don't shoot our new friends just
Alright,
randomly.
alright. I won't do it. Yeah, that's it. No, I guess I'll just hold to if this guy comes within my view.
Yep. You're readying in action. Got it. Hatter, you're up. I need a driving roll from you. Yeah. So successful. You're able to swerve into oncoming traffic for just a second to get around a vehicle. This will lead to the next 3 seconds, or like in this 3 seconds, Money and Duke. Clarigo's tires are out, so he's kind of being dragged. His rolls are based on Duke's. So Hatter done, unless you have anything else. No, your action's driving, so you're done.
When we do that swerve, do I get a shot?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Fuck yeah. Okay, cool.
You going for the head?
Uh,
Oh,
fuck it,
Do
why not? I'll
it.
try it.
Yeah, because
Okay.
this is the first time you kind of fired at something that's not open topped. So yeah, the head's the only target you really have. So -8 to the roll, and I believe you're DV 13 right now. That'll work. Yeah.
Oh yeah!
This was very,
Okay.
very quick and very, very clean, you guys. So as you maneuver out, you see Crown kind of leaning out the side, kind of, whoa, yeah, and then one shot hits, and Clarigo's car kind of careens and hits into it as it's kind of swerving. The driver's head explodes in this violent kind of like dark red, and kind of pinkish color, and then the technical just kind of disappears off the spot. You guys did very good on rolls, by the way.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Your cars will then fly past with flying colors, past the Dollop of Sunshine. And this is important because the Dollop of Sunshine is Militech's base of operations, and it looks like due to the events at the checkpoint, they have vehicles that are now moving out with sirens blaring, heading in an eastbound direction down I-9. The crew is able to get the people that they have rescued back to Night City with very little issue past that point, and you take them back to Mega Building H3. When you arrive there, the MedTech is available to help with check. The site also has a small clinic available to it, and the Valentinos would allow D access. We're just looking at a baby cat chest right now.
Oh, we love that.
But they would allow you clinic access if you want to repair them fully. Nando and him. The broken ribs will require either a paramedic or surgery check. Surgery being a part of the med tech kit. You can make either one of those that you'd like to repair the broken ribs, D.
All right. Where are those?
Paramedic would be under.
Oh, I see them.
There you go. Surgery
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go with a paramedic.
Okay. Woo. Yeah, so you're able to fix the broken ribs pretty easily. Once Crown, you kind of like sit in the space, she kind of, resets the ribs and kind of like, puts patches in, and then we'll kind of wrap the chest area. You feel better. There's still like a bit of like a, like to the breathing for a while. But you're all right. And then Nando has a broken leg. So again, paramedic or surgery, it's the same DV. And yeah, you're able to kind of like across from him, sitting in the clinic, set his leg more thoroughly and put a cast around it. It's the femur that appears to have been broken. So you actually go in a little bit with the paramedic roll and kind of do some clean out of the bullet and the shards, dropping all of like the broken content therein, and then are able to kind of set the bone right. Very clean. Everybody, again, I don't think anybody like had any super bad rolls except for initiative. I think everybody was doing awesome work. I don't think anybody messed up.
I was letting the scene set itself for me.
Yeah, for sure. With that 0 initiative.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
As the refugees are kind of like filing in and stuff, I really want to try and, I don't know, what the fuck were they so gung ho about capturing any of these people for?
Great.
Does
I was going to ask if I was allowed to talk to him too.
Yeah,
anybody
absolutely.
seem out of place?
So let's go ahead and talk about everybody who's present. Okay. So first off, there are the
Yeah.
gunners: Fernando, aka Nando Cruz; Jorge, aka Block Hernandez; Sophia Kressler; and Michael Tackle Aguado. Jorge and Michael, aka Block and Tackle, are a duo. They do solo work. They have rolled with the Steel Vaqueros, which is a nomad pack, up until like 2 years ago, and they broke away and started doing kind of solo mercenary work. They've made their way all the way down to Mexico City, up through Texas, which is another of the free states, and they kind of do like mercenary work. They'll kill who you want them to kill. They'll defend who you want them to defend. They don't give a fuck as long as they're able to get paid. Nando, as we've discussed in your kind of understanding, Nando is a cool guy. He does a lot of kind of like movement work for the Valentinos, and he too used to be kind of affiliated with the Vaqueros. Sophia is kind of an unknown. She definitely appears to be some kind of mercenary type, but she looks like she's kind of more on like a professional level, like Crown is, compared to block and tackle. Then we go.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
Sorry. What I find interesting is I'm gonna take my internal agent and I'm gonna send a text message to one of my lieutenants, Kressler, and I'm gonna take a picture of her, kind of like with my eye.
They would say
forward that.
Kressler's a name we know. It's not a very common name, but there was a net runner that rolled with old crews. She used to go by Asurius.
Okay.
Her last name was Kressler. Might be related, would be the response.
I'll keep that to myself.
Okay. Then the people that you kind of see that are the refugees.
Yeah.
We'll go over them one by one. So first person first. You had the hold on, I'm grabbing the tokens. Bear with.
Bearing.
Do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Copy. Paste. And we'll move to the character block here. Okay. So, I think I can zoom in on these by pressing this and then this. No. Control Alt Z. Control Shift Z. Oh God. Hold on. Roll 20. How to zoom in and show a token. Just Z. Is it just Z? That's wild. Hold on. Nope. Shift Z. Okay. We're trying so hard, folks. Does everybody see that token?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't. It disappeared.
Okay. I'll click it again. It should pop. So
Yeah,
this
cool.
guy's name, according to what you're able to figure out from Nando and the group, his name is Thomas Ruiz. Thomas Ruiz is an electrician and metal worker. He worked in Mexico City for a while. He came up to Texas probably about 5 years ago and basically had a lot of problems when the Unification War settled. The dust had settled in the 70s and kind of like came about to a point where he had to get the fuck out of there. And so he kind of wants to reestablish his family connections, and he's coming into Night City for that purpose. Next up is Melinda Lopez. Melinda Lopez is a Texan through and through, but the Free City situation, a lot of corporations have kind of taken a bit more power over the citizenry in Texas, especially in Austin where she lived. So she kind of said, fuck all that, and she has left the city and has taken this ride with the Valentinos transport to get into Night City. She has no family there in Night City. She's looking for work, but she is friends with Thomas Ruiz, who's been mentioned before, and she is the promise of better life from Thomas. God damn, these tokens are fucked up. Next up is Duan Yingtai. Duan Yingtai appears to be a monk. It looks like he is of the Shinto variety. He has kind of removed all cyberware that was present on him when he became kind of dedicated to this path in life. And you're pretty sure that he's not from Texas, where the trip for these people started, but arrived there and is kind of making moves across the formerly great country. It wasn't though, but the country, as we understand it, and is making his way to Night City for pilgrimage. Okay.
Okay.
Next up is Biff. Hold on.
We love Biff.
Biff.
I'm about to say, I like Biff already.
Biff is from Night City. He was visiting family like a decade ago in Texas, and then in the 2070s, when the Unification War popped off, he was kind of just stuck in Texas, and has kind of just stayed there. Found himself like living there and like vibing. But honestly, he's been wanting to get back to Night City as soon as he can, and this is the first available opportunity that's presented itself. Next up is Ben Goshan. And as I said, everything kind of got fucked. So bear with me here as I try and figure out these tokens. I'm going to delete a lot of them. I'm going to refresh this window. I'm going to fucking hate myself. Hold on. We're struggling, folks. We're struggling, folks. We are on Ben Goshan, right?
We did. Yeah. We did Biff.
Yeah.
We're looking at the red-headed hottie.
It's incorrect. The order got fucked.
Okay.
Ben. Oh, we passed. We totally skipped her. Hold on. I see. So before Biff, there was Amanda Fontaine. And Amanda Fontaine is as mentioned by certain parties, the red-headed hottie. She's a technician, like an engineer type. She was coming out to Night City with her husband, whose corpse is in the van. And his name was
R.I.P.
Darren Fontaine. The two have worked East Coast for a while, and this is actually like a layover or like a connecting flight, so to speak. They traveled from New York to Texas, and then we're going to make their way from Texas to Night City. They were on the run from a corporation. Corporation's name is Moretech, and they're kind of a smaller kind of technologies firm. When I say smaller, I mean like in size and like capital. But they are well known enough that folks understand that More Technologies does a lot of full body conversions and kind of like cyberware that's very kind of like high end. But yeah, she was very much distraught in kind of like explaining her life story here, and it was mostly like when you get this information, it's her kind of telling you about how she has no idea what she's going to do now with the situation as it stands.
Is she the important one because she looks like Chandra with her goggles?
I mean, I don't know. Ben Goshan is also an engineer, and he is a friend of Amanda and also Darren, formerly. His brothers, two of them, were also in the bus, but they were inside of the bus and left there for dead. Well, one of them was the one that got splattered all over the wall, and the other one was the one who had the big shard of metal stuck in him. But Ben's kind of like he's about 60 years old. He's seen some shit. His brothers were younger than him, and they're kind of fatalists in mentality. But they are hard workers, laborers, engineer types, and they were coming to Night City with the Fontaines, the promise of work. They also come from the East Coast originally. Well, some of them are dead though. Then Manuel Gonzalez is this one. Manuel Gonzalez is from Night City. He is a Valentino. The tats very much represent this. He was on the lam due to a situation that happened back in like the 2060s. He was kind of in a really large kind of clusterfuck that was caused by Padre, a Night City fixer who is dead now. And since he has been reported dead, Manuel here has decided that it's perfectly time, like it's high time for him to come back, since Padre would have seen him as kind of a liability, being around. Him coming back now seems to be fine. And then I would say the best way to kind of describe this guy is the black sheep. Everybody else kind of has like connective tissue with everybody else. This guy doesn't seem to be like kind of connected or related to anybody. But he says that his name is Igor Volkov. He says he comes from Russia, and he's making his way into the city. His desires in kind of arriving into the city is to find his brother who fucked him over and kind of caused his whole family's business in the Soviet Union, which exists in 2077 still. I know, it's crazy. But to find his brother who fucked over him and his family and put a bullet in his head.
Fair.
Vibe check. Is he lying?
He appears to be a very stone cold individual.
Okay.
He does have of the people in the back, he is the only one with a gun, and it is a very old style Russian military pistol. Like it's 10 millimeter or whatever. Like I can't even remember what the name of the gun is. It's like an old style Russian pistol.
Okay. Same thing. I'll send his details to the lieutenant.
Okay. Yeah, they'll take everybody's information. They'll kind of like unwind and kind of like get everybody situated in Mega Building H3, kind of get them situated with rooms and such, since they are important people. But as they kind of came in, you would notice that the Valentinos that are kind of present, specifically the leadership in Mega Building H3, which would be, what was her name? Empress. Who I will now show to you, and please, no drooling. She would be the one that kind of comes down specifically to kind of like greet everybody, congratulate Gonzo and his crew. Not the first time you've hung out with Empress before, and kind of welcome everybody else to stay and party. The place that they would kind of want to hang out is a small club called the Astral Sea, and they would explain that it's not fully constructed; it's still being worked on. But if you want to come hang out, one of the landlords of the place, guy named Hungry, he runs the show here, but he's not home right now, so they're gonna just drink his alcohol.
Hell yeah!
I mean, they're gonna pay the motherfucker, of course, but they are gonna drink that alcohol.
Let's throw him a welcoming party, chica.
For sure. If you want to stay, you can stay and hang out with the Valentinos. If you do hang out and stay with the Valentinos, your rep for this mission with the Valentinos will increase. If not, it'll stay lower. So if you don't want to kind of get a rep with the Valentinos, you can leave. If you do want to stay, let me know. Who's sticking around? Obviously, Gonzo, you're here. D, sticking around, partying with them?
No, fuck the Valentinos. I'm out.
Yeah, they got good liquor and they got good music. Two things you want when hanging. And then Hatter, you sticking around or dipping?
I would look over at Crown and ask him if he needed a ride home because I would be leaving.
Crown will stay. Be like, no, thanks, boss.
I would, and hop in my van and take off.
Rem.
Oh yeah, we're staying. We're
Okay.
partying.
So then I guess the final beat will be then, Hatter, as you're trying to escape, you would kind of move over to the van and kind of like see that there's a couple Valentinos kind of hanging around it. And when you kind of come up to the car, one guy would kind of look at you and say, "Hey, if it's not too much of a problem, can you tell me where you got this fucking car?"
I would be honest with him. I would tell him it was from some media that I ran with one time to do a quick mission was her truck. Why?
They'd get a little bit more like in your face at this point and say, "Proof, what do you got?" That's a kind of fucking wide story. More likely you just killed her and took it and clept it yourself.
Would Rem have put out the brain dance
Don't even need to worry
for
about
what
it. You
happened?
already have camera footage.
Oh yeah, I would just show him.
Okay. You pull it up and you kind of show this guy and he goes, "Holy shit. Okay. Well, enjoy your fucking van then, I guess." And they would kind of like leave you the fuck alone. And you dip out.
Yeah.
Okay.
No need to be crafty or anything. It's they wanted the van, they could have had it. I have a bus pass. Like
More just the details on whether or not the information is getting passed along or not. Okay.
yeah.
Perfection. That's the end of the session. With everybody kind of going their separate ways. In that everybody who's cool hangs out in parties, and boring old Hatter leaves. Thanks for watching those that did.
Lame.
We will have another pickup game on Saturday at 5 p.m. So if you're watching this and want to check that out, check it out. One of the people who are here will be in that game, I believe, depending. And we will see you then.